Super NES Tetris Real. I'm not streaming on my own channel, right? Please tell me I'm not streaming on my own channel. Okay, thank you. Real. Who needs no commentary? You get my amazing commentary here. I love gaming. Gaming is my middle name. I am not making any sense right now, but that's okay. Because up first, we have a mysterious Hugh99 versus the well-known Zen, aka Inzenta. Very, very similar TR, similar-ish stats. NGL Zen more stridey. The call out. Real. If no one else is hopping in comms, I guess you're gonna have to suffer the self comms for a round. I love self comms. Did you know Sphere? This is a moment of all time. This is how I go crazy. You know, I was what? Put me in a room where I play Tetrio. Tetrio makes me crazy. Let me. I guess we are getting a warm upper. The warm is in fact up. I don't know. Who needs to rest their voice when I'm gaming on my side? Oh shit. You see, the problem with having a different DAS is that this kind of sort of happens. Well, it's a warm-up, I'm allowed to throw. Good fun. Real. Time to game. Oh. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh no, Zen. The I don't know what happened, but the down stack did not compute. Unfortunate. Going SDPC into mech. Zen quaking in her boots right now. No, she's not. I've done this like 10 times before. Oh, the misdrops. Oh god, the misdrops. I hate my new task. Why did I am in no position to play with it right now. I'm kind of pooped. Whatevs. We do the same old opener. Because if it worked before, it'll work again. Be greedy, because I can do that. I'm allowed to by law. Ooh, got him. I don't know what happened on Zen's side. That's unfortunate. I am Wessel. I'm misdraw. This build up is probably legit. Build up was not legit. Hashtag. Uh-oh. It's fine. Everything's fine. Back to more neutral board state for both players. Oh, going for this TST here. Questionable decision, but I mean, I make it work. Um, got him. Oh, then those misdrops. I saw that in my replay roonies. I have epic replay vision, also known as Twitch delay. Oh god. I misdropped and it's not panning out for me very nicely. Yeah, I think it's Soj over. Unfortunate, so I'm able to capitalize and punish. I'm not muted, am I? Nope. Oh my god, that was just my int. Zen ties it back up 3-3. Only 4 points to go for either player. This is so awkward calming my own gameplay. Help. Oh god. Oh no, Zen! I sent pressure in the beginning, but then it just didn't convert out. Or at least that's what I'm getting to feel through my epic game sense. I have no game sense. What's macro? I don't know what macro is. Is it some forbidden technique I am not privy to? That's what it feels like sometimes. You know, I love being greedy. It really makes me feel greed. Oh god. You see, I may or may not have in an unfortunate situation, and tying it back up. I misread the S&C piece. If we don't talk about it, we don't talk about it. Self-comms is so awkward, I swear to god. I can convert off here. Oh no, Zen. Zen, no! I literally even misdropped it. Oh, that's just unfortunate. These rounds are going by so fast. Bro, I was just playing to go into top 8 after this, but at this rate... we're all be dying pretty quickly. Oh...
Are you seriously playing against Zen?
Yes. Hi, TGK.
Did you actually sign up?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the most... I don't know if I can commentate this so that this, like, doesn't end up just being distracting.
What? No, it's fine.
Well, either way, Hugh's got a pretty decent looking board. Clearly setting up for some simple 6-3 right there. Getting started with the back-to-back while Zen clearly getting to the garbage well afterwards. It seems like he's playing pretty safe. The S piece right there could have been placed better, but you know, gotta like clean it somehow. But the misspin from Zen, unfortunately, gonna have to take a bit of a detour while Hugh is just playing it pretty strong at the moment. Only bits of cheese right there. Not exactly too flustered by it, but does in fact kill Zen in a 6-4 match point round.
Oh my god, thank you for the raid, Queen. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Zen with the PC spam, not turning the 6-4 into a 6-5. This is looking pretty strong for Zen. The comeback is there, but Hugh just needs one more round to secure it. Of course, going for SDPC. Just has a last-ditch effort. Very good Kainen extension from Hugh as well. That's going to be so much damage sent to Zen, but Zen just completely eats it up anyways. But Hugh takes it as just the funneling from Zen is going to send them into losers. But good games from both players, and I just joined pretty late.
Hello. I need to get you on the commentator screen.
Oh my god.
Hold on. Do 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 do. Properties.
But yeah, thank you, Queen, for the raid. Absolutely, we appreciate your company in this stream. Oh my god. I only decided to join commentary because Flower's like, you sign up for it? I'm like, "No, I can do it. I got nothing else better to do. I got done playing Dota, so
Dota.
yep." And yes, forgettable. It's Jax. I forgot I've had it for a while.
OMG Jax. I have no idea who that is.
It's the purple buddy man that you've seen all over your timeline.
Real.
It's a hit. It's the oh my god. It's a whatchamacallit. It's a hip new thing, you know?
Hmm. I like the hip new things.
I'm gonna go check the bracket as well, just to be sure. Galaxy lost to Kepsi? Oh, right, because of the seeding. But Hugh, how do you feel about that slight upset from Zen?
I don't know. It happens. Like, I've had good games against her recently. But honestly, I feel like it's just more her tilting than me playing good. I'm sorry.
No remorse from you, man. But either way, we are going to move on to our, fourth match? Which is going to be Batches versus Winterfrost.
I mean, it needs to. Wait, they're playing, right? Yeah, they're playing. I wonder what Botch is doing.
I
You know what? No,
don't know.
I'm down to be destroyed by Duck right now.
I mean, he's the number 1 seed right now. I mean, hey, at least Wessel's not playing.
Yeah.
So that's one reason to feel thankful. Didn't Westel win the last Strato, or is that someone else?
I don't know if it was the last Strato, but like, is either last Strato or the Strato before that? Wessel upsetting promo.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
No, it was Duck. Duck won last Strato.
Mm.
I think they're all playing after TWC because of the because they can't earn any more points now that it's over.
Yeah.
So this is just mainly, I'd say, tourney practice or something like that.
I mean, I'm playing because it's fun, you know.
Yeah, it's like the bracket sizes feel a lot more smaller now because of because the points don't round up anymore, and the fact that it's not a minor tournament now.
Yeah, it's been like 20 Stratospheres since it was like this. Oh my god.
That's what happens when you run a weekly tournament. Wait. Oh no, are you playing against you? I mean, Duck. Oh no. Oh goodness, I am
I've,
sorry for your loss.
you know, I probably don't have to deafen for this. We all know how this is going to
Yeah,
end.
please. Wait, if you deafen, why can't you just wait? Can't you just try server muting me?
No, because then it won't go through. I deafen on like my own headset, so like it still goes through on stream.
Oh, okay. I thought that would work like that. Never mind.
Mm.
Alright, so good luck. But Hugh versus Duck Life. This is a very drastic matchup for Hugh. Duck Life, of course, being the #1 seed in this bracket. Considering that it's only 8 players, it shouldn't be too bad. With Duck Life, of course, starting off with TKI, while Hugh going for the Kaiden extension of SDPC. But the misdrops from Duck not looking too hot right now, but he still managed to downstack pretty fast at 7 with a 17 spike. Hugh looking to eat it all up, not exactly doing too much damage for Duck, but clearly he's just having a pretty good time with the 6-3. Hugh taking that donation to heart, while Ducklight taking the risky option to just downstack and cancel all of that garbage, continuing the back-to-back with that 6-3. This is looking pretty strong for Ducklife, and the Kaiden afterwards not really killing... Oh, no! But Hugh one piece away from just canceling a lot of the garbage Duck sent, and that's going to be the first round. Very unfortunate for Hugh, but it's one round, so it shouldn't be too bad. Duck Life going for Gamashiro, almost misdropping that, but does find the PC afterwards. Hugh being a bit slower in regard. Oh, very good 14 spike continuation by Hugh. While Duck Life has a lot of room to downstack and do a lot of damage, clearing that quad as soon as possible. The second point goes to Duck. Hugh is having a really hard time with this kind of thing, especially when it comes to someone that loves to spam damage like Duck Life. And as we've seen with the back-to-back, he's pretty strong at being able to maintain it, but Hugh with those misdrops, yeah, that's very unfortunate by them. Hugh is taking this win rate matchup pretty strong, especially if it's just as, pretty big as Duck Life. But Hugh is managing to downstack as soon as she could with this, oh my god, this free PPS, but oh no, barely makes it out with the SDPC, but doesn't in fact get the perfect clear damage. Now Duck Life and Hugh are both in the same position, but Hugh takes the takes the back-to-back momentum, digging it all the way down, while Duck is purely in trouble, and the square piece is not enough to save his life. Hugh denying the sweep in the 4th round, and this is looking pretty promising for them if they just keep the execution up. Duck Life going for Castle Top TKI. Hugh looking to find the color clear instead of the perfect clear, all thanks to the one line of garbage. Very good at guiding continuation as well. Duck Life is not really feeling too iffy about it, but does open up the garbage well with this simple 9-0, but very good patience from them, looking to see if they can send or cancel or tank. But they're clearly tanking at the moment as they're not really too high, but as Hugh keeps sending more, it's probably a good time to just stop. Ooh, almost a perfect clear by Duck, but chooses not to go for it. This is a very clean board for Duck. Hugh trying to find as many options as they could. Oh my god, but the prophecy from Hugh being able to fix some subs up pretty easily. But Duck is managing to find that pretty big spike that could almost kill Hugh, but that's just so much pressure sent by them. Very good double quad by Duck. So much clean for Hugh, and well, way too much. Oh my god, Hugh barely making it out alive, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't even matter anyways.
Oh my god.
That was a very close round for both players. Duck Life barely making out of all of these, out of every single huge line of garbage. Hugh is going to need to really keep up that kind of pace in order to secure the round. Does find the floating T-spin continuation of SDPC, as we so see by them. While Duck Life is just having the time of their life with this LST stack. My, oh my, Duck at 4.13. The LST is just far too overwhelming for Hugh, unfortunately. Duck Life is just going so fast with this setup, while Hugh is just trying to see if this SDPC can work in their favor, but with all these kinds of garbages and the prophecies that they're trying to send, it's really becoming difficult for them. But Duck now is really sent full of garbage, and as soon as I say that, Hugh taking a second point off of Duck Life. That was a pretty strong round by them, being able to keep it clean and just find all these setups that they just so desperately want. But the misdrop on the SDPC, that is the one misdrop that you don't want to have. Well, Duck Life is just building 4-wide. Okay, not exactly 4-wide, but still 6-3. But yeah, this is looking pretty strong for Duck Life. And Hugh is feeling a bit troubled with this. Gonna have to skim a lot with this sort of thing, while Duck Life is on a back-to-back chain of 9. Oh my god, yeah, Hugh is not gonna be able to get to that garbage well, unfortunately. And considering that this is, in fact, top 8, this is gonna be very difficult for Duck. No, not Duck, for Hugh. But it's still pretty strong for Duck, as Hugh just keeps looking for the STPC setups. Very lucky with the garbage well as well, as Duck sends a lot of clean to it, but still being able to keep up the pressure. Oh. Manages to get the color clear afterwards and just resort to a pretty awkward setup by them. But very good downstack combo by Duck Life, being able to take the first half of the set in his own hands. You just couldn't believe it. He was always just looking for that kind of setup anyways, looking to see if the STPC can work in their favor, and in fact it does, gets the PC off, couldn't in fact get the second one, but still gets the quad anyways. Very good bag by them, even with the quad afterwards, and Duck is just completely garbaged up. Very good T-spin find by Duck Life, while Hugh has so much funneling to do, and it's just far too much for them. This is not looking good for Hugh. Duck Life is at a 6-point, he's just 6 points ahead, and this is not looking pretty good, especially with this Gamashiro setup by them. He was just trying to take it just a bit slower than Duck Life. He was just clearly looking for all of these LST setups. Into the SD afterwards, chooses not to go for the TST, which is pretty wise by them. But the almost drop, almost risking their lives for it. But I'm pretty sure that won't be too bad by them. Oh, very good fix by Duck Life. Now Hugh is completely cheesed up, especially ones that they've made themselves. I think that was just a bit of a misdrop, heavy board, but he was just trying their best to fix themselves back. Oh, very good recovery by Hugh, but they're still being sent so much cheese by Duck Life, who is just also getting started with this back-to-back chain. Oh, look at how clean he's building it. Gosh, Hugh just couldn't handle all of this damage, and Duck Life is just 2 points away from securing the set. This is a match to feel bad for. Press 1 if you feel bad for Hugh. Oh my god, but the setup from Hugh, yeah, those misdrops don't look so good. Oh, very good T-spin quad dono by Hugh. And Duck Life is just continuing with this T-spin chain. Look at how much damage he's doing, and he's just playing it with risks. Does have to break it, unfortunately, in favor of playing it safe. But they're still wanting more. And the quad afterwards, and the T-spin, of course, going to have to stick to 8-0 for the time being. This looks like an STSD setup, which they, in fact, go for. As this is going to be so much damage by them, and oh, look at that setup. That's a huge combo by Duck Life. 21 lines, and he was completely cleaned up. But, oh, very good dono by them, too. Oh my god, Hugh is just playing out of their mind, trying to really get themselves back into the groove of things. And Duck Life is just still sending more, and the 24 spike will send them into match point. What a good turnaround for Duck Life, as he's just completely taken the lead to his own mental. It could be his game, but who knows? Of course, going with the Gamashiro, as we see with the Kaiden continuation, and the 6-3, of course, being as strong as he wants it to be, while he was just looking for a combo. Doesn't continue it, unfortunately. Oh, Duck just has so much room to send, especially with this back-to-back chain that he's just so setting up for. But oh my god! But this kind of stacking doesn't look really healthy for Duck Life, but still manages to fix it into a 7-2. Hugh trying to look for that Kaiden, does manage to get themselves back into there. Has to do the 180 fix on the L piece. Oh my god! This is so stressful for Hugh, but does manage to find the 11 spike. Manages to make it clean. Has to waste the eye, unfortunately, in favor of the T-spin. This might be a pretty risky option for Hugh, as Duck Life fixing a bit of their board, looking a bit jagged, but they're completely full of clean. And Hugh, oh my god, Hugh's board. Oh my god, the bag that they got just don't look so good. But oh, that almost might be able to set it, but pretty good down stack by Hugh. barely making themselves out. And finds another one. Very good usage of survival by Hugh. While Duck Life is just building a back-to-back of 12. He just really wants to send this round down in the immediate, while Hugh is just fighting for their life. Oh my god, this can mean anyone's round. This is a match point. This is a match point round, and the misdrop from Duck Life has to break the back-to-back at 20, unfortunately, and Hugh needs to find just enough damage in order to send him out and deny the match point. But Duck Life sends it all the way back and recovers, securing the set as Duck Life sends Hugh into loser's bracket. Oh my god, the survival from Hugh though has been pretty strong in that last round. That was really good by them. Oh my god, but Duck Life manages to take it into top 4 or top 6 actually. But
Holy.
still, very close round by the end of it. But that was some very good defense game by Hugh. Oh my god, you held on for so long.
I tend to be in survival mode way too much. Just in general.
How did you hold all of that in that last round though? That lasted what, 2 minutes?
RNG.
There are times where you had such an unfortunate bag but still manages to fix it either way.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like an unfortunate bag in certain situations. If you...
It's just unlucky.
Yeah. Next up we have Botchas versus Kepsi.
Ooh, and that match might be our first Botchas match of the stream.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we are into losers' quarters, so not winners' quarters. But either way, Botchas versus Kepsi. How do you really feel about this kind of matchup? I know Botchas loves to troll, and Kepsi loves to play consistent.
It's a very interesting matchup. I mean, I'd say, Botchas does have that advantage in terms of APM and just TR in general, but it's only 10 TR. I mean, it's a lot at this rank, but...
I feel like with this kind of play style, you're playing against Kepsi.
Wait, oh.
You're playing against Kepsi.
Slash abort! Slash abort! You didn't see that. You see, this is what happens when
What is this, a tall stream? I know, scuff. Anyways, Botchas being a very unpredictable player, you just don't know what they're going to whip out of that kind of bag, but against Kepsi, it might be no biggie for Botchas, but this is still pretty close for them, especially in this kind of bracket. Going for...
What is that?
What Botchas, what is this? What is this dono setup?
What?
Oh, but let's find the quad afterwards. That was a pretty good find by Botchas, but especially with that bit of garbage. Like I said about the unpredictability, you just don't know what he's gonna cook up. And
this teeth spin and
the prophecy.
I'm not even sure if that was intentional. That was crazy.
I'm pretty sure Botchas just knew and just went with it, and he's just cheesing up his board. How does this man run?
On Botchas juice. I don't know.
Dude, he probably runs off of canola oil. What is that delay burn? Oh my god, that was an NES Tetris turn.
The skim TSDs are real.
But it definitely looks like Botchas is still keeping themselves up, and he's building forward.
Center forward. Oh, that's a really nice well on that residue.
Yeah, that's going to be a montage play by Botchas. That's going to cheese Kepsi up a lot, but Kepsi sends it back at the 21 spike. This is looking pretty strong for Kepsi, but at the same time, they just don't have the clean board to really fix themselves up. But Botchas, what is that build? Oh, that is such a greedy T-spin by Botchas, but still manages to get away with it. Now Kepsi's trying to play very flat, trying not to be Do damage by...
The
Oh my god, but the
C-spin.
C-spin. The C-spin from Batches. This might be a... Oh my god. Oh, yep, that's going to be it.
Rip.
Batches completing the warm-up out in style. But Kepsi takes it. That was another Batches tier warm-up, I guess.
Real.
I hope to God this is not a troll round. If it is, I swear.
Oh my god.
Kepsi going for... Ooh, I like that setup a lot.
Yes.
And the floating set... Don't tell me you're doing mech. Okay, thank God it's not mech. Oh, Batch is pretty good with the SCMBK, while Kepsi is just playing it pretty slow for a bit. But even though they're at 2.6 and Batches is playing at a plonk speed, Kepsi is just completely cheesed, but...
The cleanup, though.
Very good recovery by Kepsi, though. Now Batches is completely cheesed up. Why do you find all these prophecies?
Oh, that eye dependency for Batches doesn't look too great.
Yeah, not exactly the best kind of recovery that you want if you're Batches. Now Kepsi takes the first round in their hands, but don't you dare. Oh my god, it's a really scuffed variant of my opener. Stop. Stop.
It's like the Viper and Flamingo had a baby.
and it's so scuffed.
It's just...
For those who don't know, that is technically my opener. What is this, Batches?
Batches pandering.
Is Batches just sandbagging? What is this? What is this?
I mean,
help. He says in chat, help. No! Okay, I thought you were gonna do my opener. I was gonna scream. But Kepsi is just getting away with all these T-spins. Very good, very good prophecy by Batches. Does find the TST continuation.
Into the switchback.
Oh, now that's a switchback right there. The one that was a complete TST.
Switchback in.
But you know what? Batches ain't fully trolling as he's got his first point. Don't you dare! Oh my god, what is this? What is this setup?
Oh my god, into the fractal.
Oh, but he does manage to... Oh no, Batches. Oh, very good recovery by them. But, oh, barely makes it out alive, but Kepsi's just keeping up the pressure. How did he live that for like 7 seconds? That's the length of a vine, dude.
Jeez. Maybe Batches was watching a vine that time.
Oh, he's doing the fort opener. He's doing the fort opener.
Reliable TSD. Here comes the STSD into counter spike.
And that's so much damage. That's gonna kill Kepsi. Oh, just almost.
Oh.
Yeah. Kepsi was one piece away, but didn't exactly have the proper setup to get to that quad. Now that just takes half the points that Kepsi has.
Any TKIers? What is Kepsi? Okay.
Okay, Kepsi just a bit completely cheesed up for a bit, but does use the TSS for that quad, but that just sends so much to Kepsi. Pretty good counter forward by them, but oh, that just has a pretty good setup here. You could definitely do a lot with this. And the floating afterwards, that's gonna be a bit of damage. Not exactly quad, it does find the color clear though. Now Kepsi is completely cheesed up with all this garbage, not exactly quad worthy. They're gonna need to really dig out with all of this, and they in fact find it, but of course Batches is just sending so much. Look at the setup that they're building though. Oh no, he's doing
center forward.
He's doing mid-game 4 wide. Oh. A very good delay by them. Does in fact manage to dig it all down, but that doesn't really send much in favor of Kepsi's defense.
It's just all cancelled. Wait, Batches interesting TSD.
Not exactly the most reliable situation to be in if you really set up a 4 wide like that, because it can be strong. You're just gonna need to find the bag to kill. But Kepsi is just keeping up the pressure. That was almost an RNG spike right there, and that would have been very impressive by Kepsi. But Batches is just still holding on for dear life with all of this clean.
Oh, Kepsi with the really nice back-to-back.
Yeah, look at that. Look at the pressure, but Of course, has the break, and unfortunately, with that TSS, going to have to skin a bit as they're being sent just a bit up by Batches. What is that floating TS? What is that floating T-spin in advanced Batches?
Well,
And sends an 18 spike to Kepsi, but that's not going to kill. Or maybe it would. Who knows? But Kepsi, in fact, does down sack through all of it, and we're 2 minutes in. How is this the 7th round?
somehow.
Oh my god, Kepsi is just really wanting to try to kill Batches, but it seems like Batches made a hole for themselves because look at all of this garbage. But does manage to recover from all of that. Very good play by Batches. Still trying to play just a bit defensively to really secure this rounds pretty fast. But oh, very good kite by them, and that's going to kill Kepsi. 2 minutes 27, and the round goes to Batches. That was some back and forth action by both players, though. That was pretty strong. If both players are going for PCO, and Batches did not go for it. But does in fact have the well to send so much, because oh my god!
PC.
Okay, you know what? That was actually pretty genius by Batches. Kepsi had the perfect clear to make sure to send enough pressure to him, but Batches wasn't even going to go for it. He just basically baited the PC cancel. Oh, what is this? Okay, that setup is clever, but doesn't find the quad anyways. But the prophecy!
Oh, Pepsi's bored.
Batches, what are you doing? That was like trolling if it had any succession. This is what I mean by Batches' unpredictable playstyle. You don't know what he's going to build, but if it works, it'll work for them. But if it fails so hard, it's just so easy to shut him down. But Batches is starting to play it pretty strong at the moment because he did take that lead though, and Kepsi was 4-2 against Batches, but now Batches is 3 points ahead.
The Finn into TSD. What a beautiful setup.
And Kepsi has a pretty clean board to work with, and especially if playing it flat, but does have to succumb to a bit of T-spin 0 right there. Just when they thought they had it, but they still get a pretty good spike out of it. Oh, Batches has a pretty strong Kaiden, and in fact continues it, and does put in a lot of back-to-back pressure, and a 6-3 too. This could be pretty stressful for Kepsi as they're playing pretty low and not sending too much at the time being. And Batches has the TST, the 10 back-to-back TST. That's going to be a lot of garbage. Does have to break it, but it doesn't matter anyways. As
the multiplier for the kill.
Yeah, Kepsi is starting to struggle a bit with Batches' playstyle. Of course, sending so much damage. Don't you dare. I'm gonna scream. But Kepsi sends a pretty good
Batches, bit of plonky.
That's pretty scary. When you see Batches just wait like that, that's pretty terrifying.
Kepsi kind of misdrop.
That was some like Western spaghetti like setup right there. Just wait 10 steps, like wait 10 paces, and then just shoot. Jeez. And Batches did quite literally just that. Of course, going for reliable TSD for the second time. And Batches has a pretty good floating continuation afterwards. Oh my god, look at all this damage that he's just doing to Kepsi.
Oh, the
And Kepsi just sends it all back. But the misdrop. Oh my god, Batches needs to complete it. That is so greedy, Batches. What are you doing? But does manage to themselves back up. That's pretty good for them. While Kepsi is just playing pretty high on the board, but that's going to be a lot of damage for Kepsi. Very good setup by Batches as well, being able to dig it back down with the 10 spike. This is, oh god,
the C-spin.
Kepsi is just quivering and shaking. Gonna have to hyper tap a lot, but Batches, that is not a TST.
Kepsi with the punish.
Yeah, that unfortunate misdrop by or that miscalculation by Batches, thinking that he had the TST overhang, but it was one block too high. Oh, the extra T overhang from Batches, but that's gonna be a 12 spike sent to Kepsi, which that very interesting donut by them. Of course, gonna send it just a bit back, but gonna have to break back to back in favor of trying to get themselves back to the floor. But Batches is
kind of greeting.
Yeah, Batches is just looking to send as much as he could. It either could work successfully. It either could work successfully or it won't. But it definitely looks like Batches is looking pretty neutral about it. While Kepsi has so much clean, end up floating afterwards is pretty strong for Kepsi, and that's going to kickstart their back-to-back chain. But not for long though, because look at the board state. But does manage to clean it with the quad. Now Batch trying to contemplate what to do with this setup. Of course, with the back-to-back of 5, that's gonna be a lot of damage sent to Kepsi, and Kepsi is just slowly taking their time and barely making it out alive. But Batch is still sending.
Batches is not stopping.
He is kicking up the momentum right now. The back-to-back of 14 is far too overwhelming for Kepsi, but Kepsi is still living.
The TSS
cancel.
Oh my god. Kepsi.
How is Kepsi living for all of this? That was a back-to-back of like double digits, and she lived that.
The down stacking is crazy.
That was a very good usage of recovery by Kepsi, and of course, both of them are back to mid-game.
King Crimson!
The King Crimson in Stratosphere? Batches with the King Crimson Ender. Oh my god, Batches. You mad lad.
It's mini TSS TST. What is this, Batches?
Oh my god, but that's so much damage for Batches, because look at all this clean by Kepsi.
Oh, Batches just tanks all of the clean.
What do you do with all of this?
Well, I guess
I am completely baffled by the outcome of this. Now Batches is clearly just taunting Kepsi with all these options. And he's waiting.
Fold.
He's waiting. Batches.
The Batches. Milk.
The macro. The macro from Batches, but that almost barely didn't pay off. But, oh, very good TSS dono by Batches, and being able to clean it up with the, almost breaks back right there from Batches, while Kepsi
Batches really going for the trade.
Oh, what are you doing, Batches? Batches! Stop! Let her live! Oh god! He's living!
Trinity stacking anyone?
He's Trinity looping against Strato, what are you doing?
Kepsi's board is fine, and I think Batches is running into trouble.
See what happens when you play it for food, you're gonna spoil it, Batches. Come on.
Ooh, reverse nice. Real.
Oh my god, Batches. What is this opener? You're almost a match point, my guy. I don't know if Batches' playstyle angers me or just makes me laugh. But he keeps getting away with all of this. This is ridiculous. And Kepsi just tried to.
The ISO TST from Batches?
What is happening?
That forced incomplete TST, but Kepsi was going for the counter spike here, has the quad into the 7-2.
God, Kepsi just wants to look for that back-to-back chain like Batches always does, but oh my god, that's a bit of a misdraw. Gonna have to use a T-spin 0. Oh no, but the J misdraw from Kepsi doesn't find the setup for the T-spin, and another one! Batches is gonna take match point. Oh god, this is not looking good for Kepsi. Their mental has been turmoiled by Batches' trolly, mischievous, dastardly playstyle. That you just don't know what else is gonna happen, and Kepsi is just trying her best to keep themselves back on their footing, considering that they are the 4th seed, and Batches is just clearly trolling out of their mind and just getting away with it.
Oh my god.
Only in Stratosphere.
Real.
Oh my god, Kepsi is trying to fix this very unhinged looking setup, but of course gonna recover it flat. They're not gonna try to look for as many T-spins as they could, they just want to get back down, and Batches is setting up a fractal. And the prophecy, but chooses to go for the quad instead. How do you look at these in advance? How do you think like this?
You just look at the holes, I guess.
Oh my god, but Batches doesn't go for the TSS cut copy instead. What is this?
Oh my god, the feign into 180 TSS. Batches bails out of it. That is a setup of all
God,
time.
Kepsi just needs one more T-spin in order to get themselves back on, but just barely makes it out alive. Kepsi is just completely baffled by all of this damage, and that just keeps on
Oh,
sending.
Cassie can
But
live though.
God, but Kepsi also, in fact, does find the T-spin out of it. Needs to get themselves back to the floor while Batches is just Batches is just misdropping T's and doing all sorts of shenanigans. This is really hard to come across if you're Kepsi. And Kepsi looking for the floating afterwards, needing to do anything to kill Batches, but Batches is
Oh,
not really. Oh
Cassie
no.
misdrop.
Oh no, but Batches waited just for a bit, but
Oh,
that would have been game ending if Batches had that. Oh my god, if he had that PC, that would have been over.
Botcha's just gonna go into some very stay low stacking instead.
God, Batches with this wildcard plate style. That is a very lucky garbage well, and Kepsi misdropping might be the salt to the wound. This is not good. This is not good, and that's gonna be it.
L over in time.
Kepsi with the unfortunate misdrops as Batches secures the set.
11-6.
What the hell was that? What was this? What was that
Gameplay.
match?
Gameplay.
Am I commentating a Tetris tournament or am I at a circus? What? I got my hands off. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. If I were to play against Batches, I don't know where I would be right now. Because, oh my god, what just happened? I don't have any like post game words to say. Batches doing a King Crimson at Stratosphere. I don't know what to believe in anymore.
Truly a moment. Let's see. Next up, we have Nzenta versus HDL.
Oh my god, Batches was just playing Blast according to HDL, who is gonna play against Zen in this losers bracket match. Oh god, and AHDL is the only U rank in this entire bracket. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
This is not going to look good for HDL, because not just in rank tier difference, but stats, because Zen clearly doubled this up, but HDL might be able to... I don't know how to feel about this matchup. This is a 4 versus an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And since this is the start of the losers bracket run, it definitely seems like HDL might just facing against an X rank. It's going to look pretty bad for them, but either way, let's see how they play.
Let's see. I mean,
HDL the misdrop DT, that is already a game ender. HDL, no. Their dash is pretty slow too. Oh my god.
Oh, the TSD for the
very
save.
Good. He's gonna find by HDL and
Send with the misdrop.
Did he just win a warm up round against Zen?
Well, it's warm up. It doesn't matter.
It started with the missed ET, and then it just escalated to a sudden T-spin find. That is so unexpected. I'll give it that. But either way, we are gonna get started with U rank versus X rank, HDL versus Zen. This is
oh boy.
This is a very biased matchup by stats alone.
Oh, miss a second. That's unfortunate.
This is a pretty biased matchup according to stats alone, but that looks like HDL is just taking a bit of patience into this kind of thing, while Zen is looking for a bit of a macro play, but
yeah.
HDL is really starting to kick up the speed a bit, especially with what they are. And as a 24k player, playing it at 2.6 is pretty good for someone in U rank. I'd say that's around like low X in terms of that speed, but definitely looks like with the pressure coming from Zen, this might be pretty.
Oh, the float from Zen's
Oh, very
scary.
good find by HDL and the downstack afterwards. But Zen has so much cheese to work with, and all of these misdrops fixed immediately, all thanks to Zen's quickie speeds. And HDL with this. Oh my god, the misdrop.
Oh, Zen misdrop too. She's cleaning it up right now.
Yeah,
Going to
all
get
these
to the
players
squad
making
well.
these. All these players making these nerve-wracking mistakes, and HDL might be a pretty huge case of it.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't in fact find the solve, and it was already too late anyways. Zen takes the first point.
Wait, is HDL have 1 ARR? Oh my god, HDL does have ARR. Oh my god.
Wait, actually?
Yeah. You can see the pieces
How
sliding.
are you 24k? Damn. I'm not saying this out of jealousy, I'm just impressed.
Sheesh.
It's really hard to get the 24k nowadays because of rank inflation.
Yeah. Zen with the British DT.
Is that what it is?
For some reason, people call right side DT British DT, and I don't know why.
That is so esoteric. I don't understand. that is such a goofy term. I mean, then again, it's Tetris. How can you not have a goofy term? And Zen's just skimming. Zen is just adapting to this kind of playstyle in tourney. Like, how do you think of that?
Very, very play it safe. I mean, it's a thing.
You're playing against a year rank.
I mean, I've done it before in TL. If they're like significantly lower than you, the last thing you want is them upsetting you. So you tend to play really safe because you know you can get away with it.
As someone who's tilted a lot at these kinds of matchups in Tetra League, I can attest. It feels awful.
I think a lot of people feel that here.
And HDL is not really being pressured too much as he's just getting sent all of this clean garbage for free, but barely makes it out alive. Very good downstack by HDL, almost dying. It does find a lucky second eyepiece to get that quad. Oh, that T-spin 0. Not exactly 2 eyes, but does manage to.
Oh, that S piece is kind of awkward for HDL. And Sen's bored.
And the beta and the J funnel afterwards. The one part that sticks out just doesn't feel good.
Oh my god,
the mishole for HDL might have been a position that he didn't want to be in. Of course, gonna have to scam. Oh, but Zen's just
the quad
Zen's
isn't
PC
enough.
Zen is just PC spamming onto this poor boy's grave, man. Let them live.
Is PC spam considered a war crime?
And HDL is going for some simple LST, but chooses to break it all thanks to that center garbage well. Zen has so much damage on her belt, because look at the setup by Zen.
The DS, almost enough to kill.
Very good recovery by HDL. Zen's gonna need to really pick up the damage in order to secure this round. But HDL is just sending a 13 spike back to Zen. But Zen could definitely use all this garbage to their advantage.
You're just gonna mostly skim down though.
Zen needs to find this kind of option to kill HDL as they're playing it pretty safe, but completely cheesed up, all thanks to Zen's downstacking. And of course, kickstarting with the T-spin, and I thought this was going to be a DT setup by Zen. That would be insane if that were to happen.
Revengeance of the British DT.
Absolutely, and HDL is starting to feel just a bit lost with this setup, but does open up the garbage well, and Zen set up the floating T-spin afterwards and killing HDL.
Little bit too much garbage. Zen on sweet pace right now, basically halfway through the set so far.
It's really hard for HDL to secure like a non-sweep round for Zen, as Zen is just sending all of this garbage and all of these floatings, but this is looking pretty risky for them. You probably don't want to do that if you're Zen, but Zen does in fact find a recovery
The
option.
double
HDL is
quad?
getting sent so much. This is a pretty good opportunity for HDL to build up a pretty good spike right there. And Zen is looking pretty pressured by all of this, but he's saving all the eye pieces in favor of the recovery, which Zen does take to heart. And HDL is doing their best to see what kills
no! Oh my...
That almost kills Zen, but Zen is just having a really hard time trying to get themselves clean. And HDL is being sent so much cheese, and we're almost a minute in. What?
The cheese. Oh my god. Zen's down stacking, coming to bite HDL in the cheesy garbage.
Oh, no. Oh,
Pretty
good down stack by HDL, but the J is going to have to be fixed immediately, as Zen is working onto a back-to-back of 6. Has to break it with that skim.
Gonna go into a bit of 7-2. Oh, the miss
I think that's gonna kill. I think that's gonna kill.
The eye waste, yeah.
HDL denying the sweep. The U rank denies Zen's sweep point. Very impressive. Very impressive play by HDL. And Zen is just building.
Zen is that perfect back-to-back conversion from the DT. HDL is going to survive though. Finding the down stack. Oh my god, Zen. Live. She's barely alive. The force TS as Zen is gonna find the multiplier out. The misdrop Kaidan. I mean, she's not dead. You know?
Zen is playing pretty clean right now, and HDL, pretty good count to 5, actually. Not exactly a count to 4, as, you know, there's one block ahead. Zen has a pretty juicy looking setup right there, especially with the mini, and that's going to kill HDL.
The fractal for the fans.
Show off. Zen going for PCO as usual. Doesn't in fact find the solve.
Oh, HDL misdropping stick spin.
Oh boy, HDL is having a really tough time with fixing this, but does manage to clean themselves up with a bit of trimming, of course. But HDL is not completely cheesed up.
HDL is the perfect board state right now.
Oh my god, but chooses not to go for the double quad in favor of another T-spin setup. This might be a pretty risky option for HDL. Oh god, oh lord, oh HDL cleaning that up with the 6 combo down stack while Zen is playing it low and completely low because breaking a bit of back-to-back, not too shabby, but you're gonna need to do a lot to kill HDL, who is just skimming a lot actually, by the looks of it.
Playing it safe. Oh, the S-spin!
Oh, it doesn't go for it, unfortunately. HDL had the right idea, but the wrong execution, and that's going to kill. Unless. Never mind, they managed to pick themselves up. Pretty good down stack by HDL, and the quad afterwards.
Nice.
Never mind, I digress. That definitely seems like HDL is...
lag?
HDL's Comcast is, tampering with the tournament.
SMH Comcast.
I don't know if it does HDL have Comcast. I'm not too sure. I'm just joking around about it.
I mean, everyone either is Comcast or lives in Canada. But that's how it works, right?
In a way, yeah. People. Why do people even buy Comcast anyways? I don't understand. It's so bad. But either way, HDL looking for that DT setup that they want, but ooh, that That team
Oh,
misdrop, and Zen was waiting for it.
the British GT.
Zen was clearly waiting for it, and HDL unfortunately going to have to sacrifice a line piece in order to get themselves back. There's lots of hesitation in their movement, especially when dragging all of that around.
But he is going to be able to get down for now. It's a fairly clean board state. Ignore that Z piece.
Very good TSS by HDL. Gonna be able to get to that quad as soon as they could. While Zen, oh my god, has the MKO extra T overhang as well. Very good by them. It's gonna take a bit before they actually send a lot, because look at that setup from Zen. You could definitely see a lot being used out of it, like that down stack. But HDL manages to cancel about half of it, but still being sent just enough to just to threaten Zen, and it definitely almost looks like, oh, doesn't get the second point in the game for HDL. Now Zen is living with this 8-1 stack. Now HDL doesn't look too perturbed, but it definitely seems like they were starting to struggle a bit when it comes to finding all of these options in the quickest way they could. But knowing this kind of set that in sets like this, like ones that last about more than a minute, you can definitely see a lot of defense in HDL's gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the slower player, you're basically forced on the defense. Especially with the significant TR gap and APM gap.
And Zen just loves to find all these setups just for good, and look at that Kaiden. And the mini afterwards to continue the back-to-back, but does have to break it. Now HDL...
Straight up stack.
Ooh, very good recovery by HDL, canceling all of that garbage in an immediate fashion.
Oh, Zen has a misdrop high piece on her side. She's gonna convert it into some upstacking. This is really aggressive.
Oh my god, HDL, that is so risky, and that's going to kill. He can't really... What, the ice spin? The ice spin allows him to recover, and Zen gets baited! The ice spin!
The T-spin 0.
What a well thought out play by HDL, being able to put a second point in the match. Wow, and does find the T-spin afterwards, but that's all this garbage by Zen that's going to get a change of plans. But another eyepiece. What is the bag system favoring U-ranks today? What? What is this, Mortal Kombat X Factor or something?
Yes, real. This is how they balance Tetrio.
This is how it is. I didn't know Tetrio had favoritism. But either way, Zen getting a pretty good combo out of that, sending so much to HDL, and
HDL's canceled, barely surviving.
Makes it out alive. Oh, but that eyepiece funnel! Look at that clean well. That could have been so much.
It's not the right down stack there. Zen's gonna take another point.
Yeah, Zen still has a pretty heavy lead in this, especially with this kind of matchup. And HDL's just doing their best to send so many DTs for the show, and both of them are waiting.
It's not British, sad face.
And Zen's oh no, Zen got sent so much clean. I think that might be over for HDL, yep.
There's a 23 spike.
Yep, that's it. And to wonder why people don't use DT anymore.
Something doesn't kill on its own.
And Zen's doing British DT.
Something.
just to spit on HDL face. No, just to spit on him. That's pretty spiteful of you, Zen.
I mean, the British have to get their power somehow.
I didn't know we were getting political in Stratosphere. Thank you.
Oops. Sorry.
Oh my god. But anyways, back to the match. Zen gonna be able to send so much clean to HDL, and it definitely looks like HDL is gonna have a really hard time trying to find the pieces that they want. But HDL does find all these options. Gonna have to downstack, unfortunately. But it definitely looks like Zen. Very good donut by them, and the quad afterwards.
The color
That's some decent damage. gonna have to waste the eye piece, but HDL gets another one just very quickly. Oh, that's a pretty good donut by HDL, but he's not gonna get the.
No.
Oh, that was almost cool. That was almost cool. Imagine a recovery like that.
The scam into TSD. I feel like we've seen that one before.
And HDL is doing 4 wide as a send off.
Any 4 widers?
Oh no!
Such a bad bag for it.
Not just a bad bag, but a bad down stack. That was unfortunate for HDL, but he did win out in style. And Zen continues on in losers.
11-2.
Oh my god. It's really impressive knowing that Euranks can still take a couple rounds off of like the top players.
Yeah. I mean,
but
all you need is a little luck and a bit of opener.
but speed definitely. It definitely looks like HDL does have the potential to secure plenty of close sets, especially with that kind of length though, because we've seen HDL do a lot of successful things with what we saw tonight. Because with Zen, they mainly focus on back-to-back chaining and damage, while HDL definitely got lucky a couple times. But that one round, the second point that HDL had, turning around the recovery with that ice spin though, that was unreal. I don't know what to believe in.
Oh my god.
The power of the SRS is so strong.
The power of SRS lies within you.
And of course, we are going to move on to our next match, which is going to be UI Galaxy versus Winterfrost.
Oh boy.
And this is a pretty close losers round, which means someone will move on, someone will be out. And this is a contender for 7th place in Stratosphere 57. So, whatever the case may be, I feel like since this is pretty close, and knowing this matchup, I expect absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks like UI Galaxy is one of the faster people in this bracket. Because look at that PPS.
Oh my god, UI Galaxy the Strider.
Yeah, and Winterfrost, of course, being well, not too favorable in terms of stats, but still trying to keep it pretty close against UI Galaxy, who we might see a lot of pressure from in this match, which we are going to get to warm up here. This is a pretty good bag for either or. Gonna save the T for a bit. Winterfrost is lagging already. We haven't even started.
Dot. The DC cannon warm up.
That was
truly
that was good. That was pretty close. I'll give it that. 0 line sent, 0 line sent. You know what? That's pretty close. It was so good. Winterfrost just couldn't believe it. But we are gonna try. We are gonna try again.
Warm up, take 2.
Yeah. Let's hope that Winterfrost's internet doesn't again. I swear. We are good, and Winterfrost is in fact playing right now. Both of them not going for the PC, but UI Galaxy has a pretty strong use of damage. But UI Galaxy does manage to fix it up just a bit, and that fractal setup sets it up pretty fast, and look at the speed at which he's going. Well, Winterfrost has a TSS setup, but that might be pretty greedy.
The TST manages to get out at the top of the board, finds that TST in order to get completely out, and what is UI Galaxy's board? Oh my god. The eyepiece! What?
If you ever looked up the Wikipedia definition of death, that's what it looks like.
Truly a skull.
That was unfortunate by UI Galaxy's end. Apparently funneled it so bad with all of these blocks that it just it just ended in the most unfortunate way as Winter takes it. Oh. But we are going to get started with the closest match we've seen in this loser's bracket so far, which is, of course, going to be Winterfrost versus UI Galaxy. UI Galaxy, of course, being a very fast player, but compared to Winterfrost, I feel like they definitely can put on so much pressure, and Winterfrost is doing Mr. T-Spins.
Mr. T-Spin, I can speak.
Mr. T-Spin's STSD, more like. Oh my god, Winter.
Sheesh.
Comes to show that even the most niche of openers can be really strong ones. And Winterfrost is following it up with a DT. As we saw in the last match, it definitely looks like Winterfrost might be able to do so much more with it, and UI Galaxy is just doing mid-game things, but
UI misdrops.
Yeah, that's the problem with being a Strider. That's the problem with being a Strider. You You sacrifice efficiency for speed, and UI Galaxy is just showing the definition of it as Winter takes 2 rounds in the span of 2 minutes.
Sheesh.
And Winterfrost going for that LST stack. UI Galaxy looking to fix up what seems to be a very misdrop heavy board, and that's not enough to fix it as Winter is just securing these rounds left to right. Oh my god, the rust from UI Galaxy is not looking healthy for them. Winterfrost, don't do Mr. T-Spins again. Oh no.
UI with an interesting board state and an interesting down stack.
And the Kaiden from Winterfrost too, as UI Galaxy looks for so much clean, but the high misdrop, that's gonna be pretty bad for UI Galaxy.
UI does have the speed to down stack this, as long as he doesn't mess up.
Oh my god, my is just
floating T-spin for the kill. Sheesh.
Oh, that's a very good turnaround for UI Galaxy, denying the sweep from Winterfrost, getting back on their groove by the looks of it. Both these players going for PCO. UI Galaxy choosing not to take it, and neither is Winterfrost. The extra T overhang not looking pretty healthy, but the down stack from Winterfrost is looking pretty strong, while UI Galaxy has a pretty good setup for that, especially with this kind of speed. Almost 5 PPS. Which is like Westall levels of speed, man.
Yeah, don't you love it when UI Galaxy just pulls out like the 5 PPS opener? It's happened to me before.
And the mid game too. Cannot forget about the mid game. And Winterfrost is looking for
this fight.
Looking for the kill. In fact, as I think that was a T-spin quad combo.
Yeah, the awkward float with the T overhang actually pays off.
Oh my god! Look at this board.
LST? Duck? This isn't Duck Life player. Duck Life 4 player? What?
Very good dono by Winterfrost. That's gonna be a lot of damage to UI Galaxy, whose board
down stack from UI
fixes. Oh my god, UI Galaxy. That was so much damage from them that it secures them the second round. Of course, being half the amount of points, and we've seen this before. We've seen this 2 to 4 matchup before. This is another Batches versus versus
UI misdrops.
Another Batches versus Kepsi situation, but it definitely looks like Winterfrost is securing the 5th round, and UI Galaxy is making all these misdrops, not even by instinct. It's just more so when you go so fast, you just kind of forget about what efficiency is, and you just make all these mistakes just because.
Oh, Winterfrost has to bail out of that C-spin, and they're not looking in a really good state. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, Winterfrost not looking for that recovery as UI Galaxy puts all of that pressure onto them. Looking to turn this around, but...
Rip UI Galaxy opener.
Yeah, the STSD, we're pretty unlucky with that misdrop, though, as Winterfrost gets away with this STSD setup. And the floating, too.
UI just tanks, though. And it might work out for him.
Oh, very good downstack by Winterfrost, being able to
the misdrop right after.
Oh god, but that dono, you don't have to go for greed right now, Winterfrost, but it's already too late. Now UI Galaxy getting closer and closer to tying it up.
Just one point.
This is a very stressful situation for Winterfrost. They still have the lead. They just need to not put all the nerves onto just onto just recovery and defense. And UI Galaxy is just building STSDs.
Average STSC gameplay.
And forwarding.
Mini forward.
And making the combo, and now he's tied it up 5-5, and we're already halfway into the match. Uh-oh. UI Galaxy made a bit of an oopsie right there. It could have been a TKI, but that SPs didn't go where he wanted to go.
Winterfrost with the really nice back-to-back here. Not going to break it yet? Okay. I mean, UI Galaxy definitely has that clean now. Has the T-spin quad, finds the kill.
And UI Galaxy is getting back on their groove, taking the lead for themselves, as Winterfrost just trembling down, just wanting to take this back, but that DT looks pretty risky by them, as UI Galaxy almost setting up the fractal, but the combo from UI Galaxy, that's already going to secure the set if Winterfrost doesn't get out, and in fact they do.
TSD after the forced STSD from UI is crazy. But no, he's not going to.
But Winterfrost secures the tie yet again, 6-6. This is already the 13th round of the set.
Halfway there.
Oh, but the misdrops from Winterfrost, it's already going to be game for UI
Especially
Galaxy.
against PC.
Yeah, that was a pretty unlucky. That was a pretty unlucky setup by Winterfrost, and UI Galaxy takes back the lead. UI Galaxy not going at. He is going at 5.6. That's absurd.
UI Galaxy's burst speed is really scary.
Yeah, especially comparable to other striders like Westel, who we've always seen a lot of in Stratosphere. So seeing UI Galaxy take the
UI
spirit
Galaxy's
of
an
Westel
awkward fourth state. Oh no.
This is a tug of war for UI Galaxy and Winterfrost, taking the ties back to fourth, and just UI Galaxy starting to struggle a lot. But like I said,
oh no,
when you see a lot of striders take like the soul of like other players that can play just as fast, you can tell that a new generation just really wants to see flashy plays. And Winterfrost is just being the slower player is just starting to.
UI Galaxy's upstacking paid off. 21.
And Winterfrost didn't have the type of blocks to downstack with. He could have lived, but it just wasn't enough. Winterfrost always going for that DT setup, but UI Galaxy, knowing them, especially with their spike potential, you don't know where they're going to cook, and look at that quad well. Chooses not to go for the Kaiden and instead just favors the quad instead, while Winterfrost has pretty much a very clean board, tries to open up the tiny little well that they want to make, but they're still being sent pretty far up, which is not looking good for Winterfrost.
Especially
a very jaggedy board.
Yeah. Finds the TSS into the T-skim. I think Winterfrost is going to be able to make it out. Oh no!
Oh my god, the misspin from Winterfrost is not looking pretty good. But UI Galaxy is
send anything in that time.
Oh my god, Winterfrost goes for that very risky, very risky C-spin right there, and UI Galaxy makes a J misdrop, fixes it immediately. Both of these players not sending too much garbage, except for maybe that quad sent to Winterfrost. But this could go either way.
Oh, UI Galaxy is on PC parity. Never mind.
Never mind. Apparently not. I swear to God, if he gets an RNG PC, I'm just gonna shave my hair. I won't, but I wish I would.
What the heck? TGK shaved hair? Real?
UI Galaxy, of course, taking the 2-point lead for once, not getting a third tie in a row. Well, I wouldn't say a third tie, but I'd say more so the fourth one. And Winterfrost going for the specialty, the Mr. T-spins TSD.
Oh, UI gets the PC, but isn't fast enough. Has to switch to upstacking from that DPC.
Oh, very good downside by Winterfrost, being able to default back to 6-3, but UI Galaxy has a lot of ammunition on their belt because look at that stack. Look at that stack. This is looking pretty strong for them, and Winterfrost is just struggling and stumbling around, trying to see what works.
Oh, but UI might have stacked himself into a corner. The overstacking.
UI Galaxy greeting for damage, not enough to kill Winterfrost, as they're trying to play just a bit carefully so that they don't get sent up. But UI Galaxy making all these mistakes for themselves is, pretty easy to counter ever if you ever stream watch every now and then, and doing that, and that's another secure tie for both UI and Winter.
Winter with a
This could
really
be
nice
anyone's game.
TSS. Yeah. TKI. UI definitely
Quad
has that
TKI at
speed.
that.
Oh, Winterfrost, kind of a misdrop. Giving time for
Yeah.
UI Galaxy to do this.
Yeah, and the setup from UI Galaxy, and they're going to continue this back-to-back chain, but I don't know if that's going to be worth it.
TSS. What the heck? I mean, it might just be. Winterfrost is pushed to the top.
Oh, but
I
don't think that's enough to
too
live.
late.
And UI Galaxy is going to the 20th round, looking pretty comfortably. And this could go either way, as match point is on the line, and Winterfrost really needs to make this clutch comeback.
UI, don't misdrop this.
Oh, but the setup from UI Galaxy, that's going to be a bit of damage to Winterfrost, and that almost secures the set, but Winterfrost with the recovery. Oh, but that prophecy. Winter?
Oh my god.
Winter?
The greed! The greed!
Sir, what are you doing?
No.
And UI Galaxy takes the set 11-9 against Winterfrost, who shall reach 7th in the bracket.
Sheesh.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, I think we have a switch out. Hi, Night Hunter. You can unmute now if you're here.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I'm here to deal HG spot so that you don't have to commentate and play at the same time and host.
Moment. Boop.
I mean, we appreciate you very much for doing all of this.
It is okay, no problem.
In the words of Fire, which you OP for real.
This is fake news.
No, it's so true though.
All right. I guess we should move on to our next match. Of course, continuing on into losers bracket. In fact, losers top 8, more like, as it's going to be Kepsi versus Zen. So,
FC is one of the best, if not the best, attackers, as they have the world record for Ds, which could be false, it could be out of the loop, but Zen is another one of those more defensive-based down-stacking players. So it'll be interesting to see who is going to decide on offense and who's going to be forced into D, and will they be able to converge or not?
absolutely. And looking at this matchup, of course, when it comes to Kepsi's like immediate downstacking pressure, and especially against players like Zen, it definitely seems like Zen being cheesed up could be really hard for them. But we are going to see how this goes once Kepsi gets back into the room and starts to warm up. I hope to God there's not a lag spike.
That would have been very unfortunate. Lag is just so frustrating, but again, not everyone can have perfect internet.
Absolutely not. But we are going to get started with this warm-up. Kepsi versus Zen, and Zen, of course, going for PCO. Actually, both of them cancel with the PCO, and they're both going for TKI. Wow. Great minds think alike, I suppose.
There's like 500 million different ways to stack the first 10 pieces, and they pick the same one.
Oh, Zen with those misdrops though. This is looking good for them, as even Kepsi misdrops, but it's a pretty good donut by them being able to skim out of it.
You can see some of that down stacking gameplay though from Kepsi, as they were kind of struggling to get a bit of APM at the bottom of their board, but now they got clean and cheese, so they should be able to get some spikes or just cheese back.
Oh, but Zen with the burst, the 14 spikes sent to Kepsi, and that's enough to kill and secure the warm-up round, which we will get started with the actual round. Oh boy.
Well, now Kepsi has 14 lines of clean. They just need to get into it really quick. Oh, wait. Oh. Never mind.
Kepsi going for MKO, but Zen, of course, going with the same strat as usual. The PCO, being able to secure just a bit of it. Finds second, but chooses not to go for the extra J DPC, which, in this case, why would you? but
Oh, wow.
Kepsi's pressure, though, is sending Zen pretty much very high up, especially with all of that PC garbage. But both of these players pretty much in neutral, with only Zen just in a bit of a kerfuffle, but does manage to cancel about half of it. Look at that clean.
Kepsi absolutely just keeping that pressure piled up. However, it is so much clean that Zen was easily able to recover. And the missed 180 is going to cost them the round there.
Yeah, might have been one button off from just recovering back all the way up, and that could have been all of that damage sent to Zen. And Zen, of course, going for the British DT. Just their favorite way of doing it. Kepsi over here looking to set up some pretty big damage right there, because look at all that clean, and of course with that kind of down stacking from a player like Kepsi, it's absolutely terrifying when she does it. But Zen is not looking to intimidate by all this, but Kepsi struggling to get themselves back down as Zen takes the second round in their favor.
Mm-hmm. As we see the rounds developing, definitely Kepsi is working. Just either they defend, like get a very good back-to-back chain at the start, or Zen will usually take the lead. And then Kepsi just very good at those down stacking and sending it back, as you could see right there.
And that's the one thing, like I've said about Kepsi's pressure, is that she's really good at being able to look at these solutions and just completely clear them no matter what, like as fast as possible, especially if you're completely cheesed up, which in this case Zen probably doesn't want to do. And neither does Kepsi, because Zen can also downstack, but not to the same extent as Kepsi. But Zen can just add so much pressure. And even then, it's just really hard to secure a lot of damage to either or. So definitely looks like Kepsi misdropping a bit, but of course gonna have to make the most of that with that T-spin single, clearing that line piece. It's a pretty good solution by Kepsi, but Zen with the 18 spike and 4 more afterwards. Kepsi can't get out of that one.
Mm-hmm. Zen definitely realizing they had the advantage there with the back-to-back down stack, so they just continued their 9-0 pressure, and they were able to just take the round easily with that.
Very good setup by Zen. Almost funneling in the garbage well. That's the one thing you want to do in this kind of situation. But Kepsi's board right now seems to be pretty strong at the moment. Only one line of cheese, that's not too bad, but Kepsi's back-to-back pressure is starting to look pretty scary, and Zen funneling and delaying a bit with that with that 9-0 well. Oh, but a pretty good donut by Zen too. Kepsi unfortunately gonna have to break that back-to-back.
Mm-hmm. Now Zen able in offense mode. Kepsi a little bit of cheese below their garbage, but you can see just these decisions, and they just get through the cheese so well because of all of their practice. And now about equal, although Kepsi has a little bit of a cleaner well and now has back-to-back chain.
It looks like Zen is looking to build up some pretty good stacking decisions right here, while Kepsi is just playing it pretty low and safe. But Zen being pressured with all these misdrops, Kepsi not doing much about it to really secure it, but still does it anyways.
Yeah, that was just super unfortunate. It was just one misdraw made like 17 more, and it's just not pretty.
It's really easy to snowball these kinds of mistakes, even if the opponent is not really doing much, because especially when it comes to these kinds of mistakes, misdropping is the number one thing that you don't want to do, but also number one thing you shouldn't do is just do it 20 billion more times, which Zen so unfortunately did, but of course they're still trying to play it pretty safe, trying to not make too many mistakes. Kepsi with a very cheese-heavy looking board, but still finds the down stack. This is pretty comfy for them. While Zen is still misdropping. This is not looking good, but still fixes themselves back up. But the T so awkwardly placed. This is not looking good for Zen.
Yeah, definitely one piece away though from the out there. Kepsi just continuing the pressure.
The IP swindling too.
Super unfortunate eye as well. Just 3 blocks right over the garbage well. It's definitely something no one wants to see.
Yeah. Oh, very good down stack by Kepsi, and of course with the beginning of the round, waiting for the patience. Zen got really greedy with that TSD, and Kepsi is going to take the lead.
Yeah, that was extremely greedy because they built another one on top of the original TSD, and Kepsi just would not allow that at all. So,
oh my god, Kepsi's board just looks so perfect for her, and Zen has so much clean to work with, and just send a lot to Kepsi, which the one thing that you should do against Kepsi is just send clean, but even then, if you do send clean, what would Kepsi do?
probably same thing she'd do with cheese, which is spike you with it.
Very good pressure by Kepsi with the 10 spike too, and Zen has a very clean looking board right now, but chooses the TSS, but Kepsi's still getting pressured by all of this, but this is not really too big for her. Just look at that setup. Opens up the garbage well as well.
You can just see all of this defensive knowledge of Pepsi with the beautiful cancels, and definitely they know not to greed, because you can see them multiple times boarding TSDs in favor of combos in order to not receive more cheese while near the top, because that could be very dangerous, as clean downstacking is way easier than cheese downstacking.
And Zen, with all these mistakes, is really starting to benefit Kepsi a lot, because it definitely seems like for the past couple of rounds, we've seen Zen make all these misdrops, not even just like instinctively, like I've said with other players that do such things like that, like UI Galaxy, but definitely looks like Zen is starting to struggle a lot with this kind of nervous side that you don't want in a bracket setting, and Kepsi is just abusing that to their advantage. Ooh, very good tank by Kepsi too. Manages to get it down, but that T piece barely making out alive, and Zen just trying to kill her as fast as she could.
Unfortunately, not able to, because again, that was Kepsi's downstacking knowledge is very crazy. However, Zen again kind of started to misdrop. I feel like if she could fix her misdrops just a little bit better, and just get a little bit less nervous. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but if she could be a little bit less nervous, she could totally start taking rounds off of Kepsi.
And especially if you're 2 points behind, Zen is just really starting to struggle a lot, especially with Kepsi's pressure, and Zen can't take it. Or can she? Nope.
Oh, very unfortunate decision there. They didn't want to place the T piece because it would have killed them. However, if they put it on the left or right, they would have been able to live with it on the board anyway.
It's all about the decision making, especially with both of these players, but mostly Zen, who's starting to really falter with that sort of thing. But Zen's getting back on their comfort zone with the LST, of course, transitioning it back, but those misdrops from Zen as well, that's another good reason why you shouldn't mindlessly downstack that way, but Zen not going to do much about that. And Kepsi, very strong lead by her. I feel bad for Zen.
This whole Zen, that is just so unfortunate. No kick table for the O piece because, yes.
And Zen going for some simple 6-3. Might have been opener misstep that she might have wanted to choose, but got very unlucky with that stack. Now Zen playing it pretty slow, and the mid game PC by them, but Kepsi gets away with that mid game DT. Oh god, not as much though. But that was a pretty good.
One way to punish a DT like that is to just PC them.
Not to mention, this is not just. See, this is a mid-game PC. Even if Zen misdropped that kind of opener that she was trying to look for, she still managed to find a pretty good solution out of that. Or might have gotten pretty lucky, but who knows? I don't see it every now and then.
I feel like mid-game PCs are just a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, because you need the right cue, but then you also need the skill to see it when it's available. So,
Of course, but it definitely looks like Zen does manage to find all these options, especially with the bag that they're given. And Kepsi is just looking to find as much pressure as she could, especially with this amount of garbage and the STSD. A bit greedy, but does manage to make it out just okay. Kepsi looking pretty comfortable right now, especially with that 10 spike, but Zen doesn't feel too pressured by it. Zen with the floating afterwards, and Kepsi, oh god, places the J piece, not exactly where she wants it to be, but still manages to get the quad afterwards, which is pretty good for her. And now both these players are still in neutral, and we're a minute in. This is almost, I'd say, one of our longest matches of this round, or about as long as we can go. That almost looked like a mech setup from Kepsi, but Kepsi chooses not to prioritize setups in favor of creating damage. Which it definitely looks like she's trying her best to. Very good counter far by Zen as well. Both these players not doing too much, and if this goes even longer enough, we might be able to get our first margin time round of the bracket. Very good counter forward by Kepsi as well. Zen looking pretty pressured by all of this garbage, and Kepsi just sends so much more in the process, taking about double the amount of points that Zen has. Also, shoutouts to Promo with the 70 free viewer raid, by the way. Hello, Promo. I am surprised I didn't be able to see it before, but thank you, Promo, for rating Hummingbird Nest. You just came in for Losers Top A. Which, by the way, to those who are watching Hummingbird right now, welcome. And we're seeing I'd say not too close of a round, but still a pretty strong round between both players. Kepsi versus Zen, the best cheese racer in the country, and one that's pretty strong at that. Oh my god, but Zen does manage to recover with that, but still pretty hold up in favor of that recovery. Yeah, Kepsi taking the 5-9 approach. Still pretty strong in that regard. And Zen struggling so much with the situation, now forcing to use STPC as a result. Not just STPC, but STPC spin. It's just a last-ditch resort that you most likely don't want if you just don't specialize in that sort of thing. But if you freestyle good enough, you can make some pretty good options out of it. Zen's just making all these holes for themselves, and Kepsi's just waiting to kill, especially with that macro play that she's also most known for. And and ladies and gentlemen, we have our first 69 round. This is looking pretty good as Zen unfortunately misdrops the PC. Of course, the 69 is not going to last long, because look at the pressure from Kepsi, being able to maintain the back-to-back of 3 and the TST afterwards. Very good tank by Kepsi as well. Of course, something that she's absolutely scary for, and is just waiting to tank and waiting to cancel. Just the patience from her. Oh, but that misdrop Kaiden, though, the misspin. Oh, that is so unfortunate, as Zen takes another round off of the 69 round. Zen going for British DT. Ooh, that's a pretty good setup by them, especially with the 16 spike that's sent to Kepsi, and that's so overwhelming. Zen is getting back on their groove and being able to wanting to tie it back up. I think I apologize if Nighthunter isn't even speaking to friends. Sounds like he lagged out. Zen taking the PC while Kepsi is just looking to play defensively. Oh, but very, very good down stack. And the Fractal. Oh, but misdrops the Fractal, unfortunately, by Kepsi. While Zen is just being able to just down stack for free. But still has a bit of garbage to work with and a lot of cheese. Definitely looks like Zen needs to outperform Kepsi in that regard. God, Kepsi is just continuing on with this pressure, but at the same time, they're just waiting for clean and just waiting for all these options, while Zen just has a very frantic playstyle to work with, or just something that she doesn't want, while Kepsi is just making all of these options just to secure rounds, and Zen is not dead yet, but does in fact downstack through all of that pressure. Kepsi is clearly having the game of her life, but still trying to get used to this comeback situation if Zen so ever takes it. A very, very risky TST by Zen, but has to maintain back-to-back somehow because that 8-1 board needs to transition, but unfortunately Zen does have to break it in order to secure a better spot on her board, while Kepsi is starting to have a back-to-back chain of her own, but still has a lot of clean to work with. Looks like both these players are tug-of-warring in the best they could, as Zen, starting with the 6-3, of course going to have to downstack through all of it and transition to something else. But does manage to make good use of that garbage in favor of that Z6-3. And of course, Kepsi, look at that back-to-back, of course going to have to break it at 7. Now Zen has all of this garbage to work with. All of these players are just sending stuff back and forth, just want to see who gets to send what, or just see if they can handle all of this. But that misdrop from Zen, very good mini fix by them, and the double quad too, but Kepsi just eats it all up. Very good usage of that T-spin quad combo by Kepsi, and that's just a lot of pressure to Zen as Kepsi takes match point. This could go either or. Either Zen gets to secure the first tiebreaker of the set, or Kepsi just takes it and just sends Zen out of the tournament. Oh, this could go either or. But look at that setup from Kepsi. That is some very lucky garbage finding by her. And the downstack afterwards. And Zen just sends it all the way back. And this 9-0 stack could be really helpful if they choose to. But they're just skimming through all of it. Not really sending damage to Kepsi. But Kepsi with a bit of a misdrop right there. I don't think that's going to recover much unless... yeah, but that misdrop from Kepsi... She still has one more round to secure the set, but Zen is just creeping to a tiebreaker. If we ever get to see one.
Well, if Zen manages to keep up there at Mint State, we would be able to see one very soon.
This is so stressful for both of these players. Zen is starting to make all these mistakes. That's something you don't want, especially at match point. The nerves just wanting to kick in. That's just such a bothersome, and Kepsi is starting to struggle a bit with their speed, playing just a bit slower than Zen, as all of this pressure from them is just piling on for Kepsi. But Kepsi has all this ammunition that Zen just sent, and Zen just doesn't want to wait for too long. But Kepsi also just wants to downstack just enough to kill, but all of these options are starting to become harder and harder to find, all thanks to this adaptive playstyle.
Now we're going to sit with both players kind of near the bottom. However, Zen clean 9-0 well, but it is going to be sort of a neutral right now, as both players are just building back-to-back and working on setting up the kill.
Zen, of course, going to have to break it at 5, though, unfortunately, as Kepsi sends about 12, but Zen only gets sent about, like, a good portion of it. Both of these players not sending too much damage. It definitely looks like Zen was trying to go for an STSD attempt, but didn't have the setup for it. I mean, she didn't have the setup for it, but at the same time, Kepsi is looking for that downstack situation. Doesn't find the eyepiece just in time, as Zen is just slowly trying to make this into a tiebreaker. But all this pressure from Kepsi might be very dangerous, but Zen makes it back down for safety. Oh my god, Zen is just starting to feel all the nerves pile on in this kind of match, and Kepsi starting to feel somewhat the same, but not to a certain degree. Oh my god, but that team is struck by Kepsi. I don't think that was an overhang. I think that was a simple mistake. and Zen might be able to capitalize off it, but Kepsi with her down second capability, being able to take it into her hands, Zen needs to do anything as soon as possible to get back into neutral, but Kepsi is just trying to trying to kill, and that's her main goal, and we're almost into margin time as we are 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the match. The fractal from Zen, not enough to pressure Kepsi, but gravity's starting to kick in. This is pretty scary for both players.
Oh yeah, definitely. Both players, again, neither one wants to get into a dangerous situation because they both know that likely a tiebreaker will be bad for both of their nerves. However, Zen needs the tiebreaker while Kepsi wants to avoid it. So
Zen is just starting to look for all these options. Oh my god, I think that was a... Oh my god, that was a mishold from Zen, and that's gonna be it. Oh my god, Kepsi takes this droning, lingering set to a close as Zen, unfortunately, loses and out of the tournament. What
Kepsi,
a set.
beautiful little finish there. Kepsi with a back-to-back 10. She was definitely looking for that this whole round, was the ability to just build back-to-back without, going so high up that it would be dangerous.
Oh my god. Can't you imagine the heart in Zen right now? Just having to deal with all of that damage in such a 15-minute set. But now that it's come to an end, Zen can finally rest. She may not move on, but man, that was a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm. Very beautiful game from both players. It was very close, even if it was not a full tiebreaker. That 21st round was just impressive.
Now, if you excuse me, I need to use the restroom. That match took so long, and I haven't had a drink yet. Or I haven't had a drink in a while, so I'll be right back, and I'll let Night Hunter take over comms for a bit while I go MIA.
All right, it is just me. Oh, jeez. I mean, what? So up next we have UI Galaxy, who everyone knows was like the first version of Wessel before Wessel just flew out of everyone's minds, versus HJU, who is very, very good at defending like openers, as I can tell from multiple experiences other people have had fighting her. Both players have requested a warm up, so we are just waiting to move on into that, which will it'll give us a miniature scope of what we are gonna see. So we have a TKI bag, and both players are doing TKI. UI immediately going into that LST, but their speed is going to cause them to misdrop a couple pieces. And now HU just ready to build back to back, but no T overhang there caused them to have to break it before it could do significant damage. HU finding the downstack into PC, and that will take the warm up. Very, very nice right there. I dropped my phone by accident out of surprise.
Right. Anyways, I should be back, so we shall get started with our bottom half of Losers Top 8, which is going to be Hue versus UI Galaxy, defense versus offense, and oh god, I wonder how this is going to go. And Hue going for a very interesting setup right there, and of course, getting to that quad well immediately as UI Galaxy makes all these misdrops just not on purpose, and yeah, UI Galaxy doesn't have the bag to really recover with that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's going to probably be UI's greatest weakness in this game. The fact that HJU is a defensive player means she's already ready to punish these mistakes. So you definitely don't want to misdrop so much. course, if you're HDU as well, you don't want to really opener against UI Galaxy, as they can just casually 4 PPS the opener phase. So
Very good TSS Dono by Hugh, and that's going to be a pretty good amount of damage sent to UI Galaxy, because all that clean, definitely pretty threatening to someone who favors speed over careful thinking. As Hugh, looking a bit jagged with this kind of board, choosing not to go for a T-spin until later, but Hugh is looking mighty high on the board right now, and UI securing their own first point. Already a tie, which comes to show how close this might as well be, despite the bracket seed difference.
HGU getting really lucky with that garbage well there, going right under their TSD setup, which means they would have been able to upstack off of that. But it's kind of hard to do against UI Galaxy.
Definitely seems like Hugh's looking for plenty of setups right now, but UI Galaxy taking that STSD and sending all that garbage back. Oh my god, Hugh barely making it out alive, all thanks to some very lucky bag choices. Oh, but not good downstack, not a good downstack decision from Hugh. UI just sends so much garbage to kill anyways.
Yeah, UI was definitely not a fan of HGU living there, so it just bursted. There's casual 4 PPS burst of upstacking, and now you can see their 5.4 PPS opener.
That is that is some Westall speeds right there, especially if you're UI Galaxy. You favor striding, but of course when you're UI Galaxy, you go ahead.
Just an average day in the office for players like UI and Westall. Just going 5 PPS is just so simple.
And of course, securing these sets in just mere fashion, of course, with the speed play with which these players go, it's very intimidating to really counter them if you don't know how to deal with that kind of speed. But okay, but imagine both 5 PPS players in the same room together, like a 1v1.
That has happened before. UI Galaxy tries to match Westall's speed, but unfortunately they misdrop too much that quickly. So it's a very volatile game. It's very
and also BenXT with the pun in chat. You could almost say that UI Galaxy speed is out of this world. If I had a soundboard, I would have played a drum riff, but I'm commentating.
That's a riff right now.
But either way, back to the match. Hugh looking to fix this very very castle heavy board, while UI Galaxy is looking to clean themselves up. But knowing UI Galaxy, it's all about the damage and speed rather than just really thinking everything through at that kind of level. As Hugh is just taking the patience to build through all of this. And it definitely looks like Hugh is looking pretty safe for the time being. UI looking very confused at what they're doing, and that's going to cost them a round. Back to the tie.
They got hit with the promo classic of not being able to do the S-spin. UI Galaxy a little slow on the draw. That's going to give HGU the almost. Never mind. Very close to getting the PC there, but missed the dash on the L, and it'll just fly to the wrong side of the board.
Oh my gosh, you making all these Z miss drops, and that's going to really cost them all kinds of potential as UI takes back the lead.
This UI just didn't even play for the first 2 seconds, but either way, still going 4 PPS.
It's all about these unfortunate mistakes against very heavy striders like UI Galaxy, but UI Galaxy ain't alone with that kind of mistakes, because, you know, striders can misdrop just as much as they could too, even if you're playing slow. But definitely looks like UI Galaxy is not too much in trouble despite all of this garbage being sent by Hugh, who is clearly looking for all these kinds of setups, especially with that dono that Hugh sent. That was a pretty clever usage of that, but UI Galaxy not looking to not too peeved by it. Oh, very good. very good down stack dono setup by UI Galaxy. Now Hugh has so much garbage in the setup with the J just sticking out like a sore thumb. Not exactly the stack that you want, but you have to accommodate. But it's not really likely that you can live out of it. Oh, and the 5 PPS SDPC from UI Galaxy, not getting the DPC solve out of that, but of course transitioning into 6-3 does find the, oh god, the speed I just can't I can't handle it.
Just 4 PPS is just so UI Galaxy. Not even top 100, just casual 4 PPS bursting.
Very, very lucky tank by Hugh being able to just take it and just leave it, and Hugh can be able to get out of there scot-free, while UI Galaxy is looking to build a pretty big T-spin setup right there, especially with that fractal and the floating afterwards, and Hugh just feeling so overwhelmed, having about half as many points as UI Galaxy right now. It's just going to take a lot of stress in order to really kill UI Galaxy, or just see if he can make as much mistakes as he could. But Hugh is just playing it slow, but can you really play it slow against UI?
I mean, can you really play it fast against UI?
It's like a lose-lose situation, man. But, of course, Hugh, like I said before, when it comes to taking it slow against a Strider, shows definitive proof that Striders can make mistakes in games and scenarios based off of, themselves. It's man versus self conflict. Oh no, but the double eye misdrop from Hugh, though, that's going to be very sacrificial. That could have been a lot of damage, but Hugh is still getting themselves back on their footing, as UI Galaxy is looking for that down stack, especially with all of this cheese and clean. Clears up the eye dependency, does find a very clever C-spin in the process, but Hugh is not really scared of that kind of method to begin with. But UI is making all of this at a breeze and just looking to set up some pretty nutty damage to Hugh. Just when you thought you've cleaned enough, just when you thought that you downstacked enough clean, think again. He'll just send it all the way back like this, like that. But Hugh has a pretty good way of countering it, and that's just to send it all the way back. And all these mistakes from UI Galaxy, that's going to pile on very, very fast.
Either way, no matter what UI Galaxy messes up, they still always are just so quick that they can get out of it just so easily. HDU needs to use her lack of speed to just have an attack ready, just in case like a moment happens where UI misdrops, but
yeah,
this will not.
That one misdrop just feels far than fixable.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to mess up your T overhangs because usually they don't have like clean fixes because there's so many just holes underneath what you wanted, since that is why you were trying to make a T-spin and no other piece fixes like the T.
And that's the one piece that you definitely don't want to like misplace at the wrong time, like what Hugh is trying to fix right now, especially with this cheese-heavy board. But because of UI speed, it's really hard to fix that up. And of course, double the amount of points as Hugh, UI Galaxy in a very strong lead right now, and he was starting to really struggle in that regard. And UI Galaxy is just 5 PPSing with that SDPC, couldn't exactly get the DPC, all thanks to Hugh's garbage sending, which of course, knowing Hugh's counter opener specialties, can really do a number of damage into UI's plans.
UI though, now they're gonna go into that LST stack, and unfortunately does break it, but that is very scary because of their insane burst. They can easily get those pattern stacking, like we see right now. Just even so many different well transfers, but they're gonna be forced to slow down with that misdrop. Well, their APM is gonna be forced to slow down. They're gonna just keep speeding up.
Yeah, and especially with the back-to-back pressure that UI has at the moment, it's so scary to deal with, especially if you're someone like Hugh who is not used to playing against players that can double the speed that you have. So, of course, when you're Hugh, it's going to be very difficult. And of course, Hugh doesn't go for a dono setup, and UI Galaxy misdrops all sorts of pieces, but of course, with the speed and the board state, they can just easily fix it, as shown right now. But Hugh is starting to play pretty safe, skimming a lot and just not setting up all kinds of crazy setups. But UI Galaxy just free PPSing some 9-0. We have the dono afterwards. The SCMB cave, actually. Oh my goodness, and he's meching. He mechhed for 3 seconds, and that's already enough damage to Hugh that just doesn't matter. Oh my god, UI.
Speed is just so ridiculous. It's like almost impossible to follow for our poor U-rank commentators. Come on, please slow down.
UI with the disrespectful mech. How can you do that to my boy Hugh like that?
Nah, the mid-game back can go crazy. What do you mean?
It just feels wrong, and Hugh just couldn't even try to recover. Yeah, but it definitely looks like Hugh. Oh, in the mid game PC to end it off. UI Galaxy popping off with the caps GG. Oh. UI, that is the dirtiest thing that you've done in this tournament. Oh my god. That was disgusting. That was unfortunate for you getting out of the tournament with that kind of ending. It's like being lit on fire and thunderstruck at the same time, dude. That just hurts so hard. Oh my god.
What was that? UI Galaxy, please teach me your ways. I need to know what you can do right now. That was just so out of nowhere. It was just as soon as they had that O place, it was just so perfect. OI 22 end the round. HDU, she tried her best.
Yeah.
Against UI's just absolutely insane pressure. And she did very well.
And that's the one thing to not forget about, absolutely. But the only problem with Hugh's playstyle is that, comparable to the speed, UI has a pretty large advantage. And especially if you're Hugh, when you're trying to play very defensively, especially when choosing all these options, it's hard to get them in time. So UI Galaxy could be able to take these opportunities into their own hands. Especially if you're 5 PPSing, like openers that you're comfortable with, or bags that just work well in your favor. And Hugh trying to really counter all of these can be very difficult, especially against players that are known to be far and slow.
Mid-game mech bursting that at 4 PPS.
Ugh. All right. And we might move on to our next match. Hugh? 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 Hugh is still Hugh's AFK. That's kind of weird. We can't get our next match going because I think Hugh's AFK.
We're still waiting on the players, actually, because we're going to do winners. What's happening right now is, I think loser semis is trying to go well. It's actually supposed to be winners finals. So Hugh was just waiting for those players to join.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
A little bit of a mistake there, but it's all right.
I was gonna say that's a pretty long delay for me. I don't know if I have the patience of a goldfish, but who knows. Anyways, we shall get ourselves going with our toppest most match so far, which is going to be which is
like
going
4 versus Botchess or Road to H rank.
Oh boy. So we have top 70 versus top 15. You can tell how drastic that kind of number is. Well, not exactly drastic, but you can tell how significant those kinds of numbers are if you see top 64 and top 14. If it's a 50 number difference in terms of ranking, that's how strong this match is going to be for both of these players. Of course, Batches with his very wild card heavy playstyle, as we've seen in a lot of Stratosphere tournaments, and Duck for Life with the consistent back-to-back LST pressure, just something that he's most known for. We'll see how this plays out for both of these, as Duck Life, of course, going with the specialty. Same with H-Rank. Ooh, that almost looked like a two-line PC setup, but H-Rank has a pretty comfy setup right now, while Duck Life is looking for back-to-back. Oh, yeah, Duck Life is definitely looking for that back-to-back. He's going at 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and it definitely looks like... Oh, Duck Life with the Fractal as well. Oh, look at that. But he's upstacking so much that he's going to have to break it, all thanks to how he's building it, while Batches is just trying to play it pretty clean, not exactly going for any tricks in comparison to the other rounds that we had. It definitely looks like he's going to have to play a focus instead of just play for fun.
Yeah, Bacha is definitely being forced to go a little bit slower here, as it is really hard to defend like by trying to just break through a 12 back-to-back chain, as their sends automatically have 2 more than anything you can send. So Duck again just right immediately back into that back-to-back chain. Now Bacha is gonna have to look for cancels here, but they're gonna miss.
But that team is strapped from Batches.
Yeah.
Not so fortunate. And that's the one thing I can say about Duck Life's pressure, is that he always keeps it consistent, as always, and he has always like kept it going for years upon years, despite being a fairly recent player. He's known to really put the pressure on a lot of players that can't really defend much. Is that PC setup by Duck Life, and of course transitions into... I thought that was going to be 4-white, but of course transitions into 6-3 instead, while Batches completely negates all of that pressure. Gonna have to sacrifice that eye dependency for a skim. But Duck Life is making all of these holes for himself, surprisingly, but does manage to get the down stack afterwards. A very good play by Duck Life. And the dono afterwards, that's gonna be so much pressure to Batches, and not exactly dead yet. Batches can clearly recover from that, but can he with this bag? Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, no eye in sight for Baches. Unable to get just down. Luckily, 4-player tried to build MS2, but accidentally skimmed out of it.
I think we also saw Duck Life in the previous round try to do MS2, but finds a PC instead and does go for second. But definitely looks like Duck Life is going to have to mid-game for the time being, while Batches has a pretty good DT setup. Ooh, but... and does manage to get the quad wall afterwards. That's going to be so much damage sent to Duck. That was a very well-coordinated play by Batches.
Beautiful sequence. Above 1 APP as well.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's not a good setup for Batches, as Duck Life secures the MS2 into extra ODPC and does send the quad afterwards into a near 300 APM play for Duck Life. That was very clean for him, while Batches, the one simple mistake can just lead to a very big one. Duck Life tanking the PC, but... oh my.
That was not a great move there. Baches just so quick with that second that they could not find their well and down stack in time. And...
oh my god, he's going for it again! Okay, but this time he's good. But, of course, Batches being able to get back under feeding instead of just trying to go for the second PC into color clear. Now, Duck Life is just trying to adapt to Batches' playstyle, who is known for just sending lines, but Duck Life can just do just that but better, but he's really starting to try to find the option which he so wants the most, but considering that they're both tied, it definitely looks like Batches is starting to struggle a bit, but with all this ammunition, you can definitely see him do a lot with that stack. And the up stack too, that's gonna be so much for Duck Life. I mean Batches, my bad. Ooh, but
Batches, just such a beautiful sequence. Living all of Duck Life's pressure by just these insane T-spin setups. Both players just canceling back each other's back-to-back chains enough. But Batches is going to misdrop one too many times, and Duck is going to have their back-to-back chain just ready to finish it off. Both players, again, each one is looking for a position that they can get a back-to-back chain over the other. Duck is going to force a back-to-back chain himself, while Batches is going to look for just that defensive back-to-back cheese. And unfortunately, they can't really find it, but that Finn...
Doing a Finn against Duck Life? That's kind of illegal of Batches for him to do it, and get away with it as well. So, seeing Batches go in this kind of playstyle is, like I said, very unpredictable.
Yeah. Duck definitely didn't want to be Finn there. Send a 22 spike, but it wasn't enough to end the Finn. And now Batches with the very beautiful they're canceling each other's
and
back-to-back.
the Finn to continue the back-to-back. That is a very coordinated play. Oh no!
No, Batches is still in this.
And the
Beautiful
down
down stack to
recover.
live. What? Batches, what was that?
What a roller coaster ride of events, Batches! Oh my god! That's a clip. That is definitely a clip right there. Batches, you mad lad. The Finn to secure the... And the back-to-back maintaining too, but... Oh my god!
Back-to-back misdrop PC down stack. That just goes crazy.
I couldn't believe it, man. That was a work of art that I saw.
Absolutely. Alright. Back into the round. Duck is just going to begin LST.
Oh, it's a very good cut copy by Batches. And does find another one in the process, but does have the skim through it, while Duck Life has a pretty good back-to-back pressure and the down stack to follow up with it.
Very nice down stack spike there. However, Batches was definitely ready for that. Building a the stick spin shape. That is definitely what that was.
Oh my god, Duck Life is starting to struggle a lot with this pressure. Batches being able to take proper usage of it.
Batches' third round, excluding the one with the double PC, with a 1 APP or more. Batches just is bringing their all to this round.
Oh my god, that was almost an orangey PC from Batches, but that color clear, or just the extra O, just isn't enough to cut it. But Batches needs to skim through a lot of it in order to get that damage done, and Duck Life is being pressured so bad.
However, Duck Life gonna have a little bit of a break here, as Batches did misdrop a bit. Duck now very clean wells that they just need to get into, and they do have access now, and they're just ready to build back-to-back right now.
Duck Life with that eye dependency, especially with that kind of board. He just needs to play for KPP instead of just trying to just set up for damage, and especially with all of this clean that Batches just keeps sending, it's really hard to keep up with that kind of momentum, and especially that 9-0, Duck needs to play out of his mind in order to secure a set like this, but oh my god, Batches is just greeting so much too, and that's the one thing that you don't want, is to just let him greet and get away, but Duck Life is not going to get that 27 spike in his favor, as Batches just cancels all of it.
They're both just sending so much to each other. Both players just canceling so much of each other's damage. But now Duck with an 8 back-to-back chain, and they're looking to get down.
And the count of 4.
Here. Oh my goodness.
God, how is this already a minute in, and Batches is looking for all of these spikes? But Duck Life is looking for that greedy fraggle. He needs to get that quad down as soon as possible, and in fact does. But Batches just looking to send as much. Doesn't get the Z spin, but still manages to keep themselves on their footing. To count the 4, having the TSS for that quad to go in. This is a very intense match for both of these players. But Duck Life with the oh my god, with the back-to-back pressure still, and the misdrop from Batches, very good fix by them, but is that really enough to help them recover? I wouldn't think so.
You can't let Duck Life get into a position where they're just going to continue to back to back. Botchus is basically their win condition here is to survive while not being too cheesed up until Duck breaks back to back.
Ooh.
But that 18 up stack spike right there is going to catch him off guard. And going to take a very quick round. The second quickest so far.
Of course, Batch is going for a bit of freestyling here, while Duck Life is looking for that LSD stack that he just so wants. Very good weight by Batches. He just really wants to get to that quad T-spin combo, but uses back-to-back instead. Oh, has to break it, unfortunately, because he's so high up, but Duck Life is containing the pressure with a 27 spike. That's a pretty strong lead.
Greater than 1 APB. That is so hard to live.
And Duck Life knows how to handle that pretty good, especially with the misdrop MS2, unfortunately. Now Batches gets the roam just a bit free with that misdrop alone. Now Duck Life needs to really fix himself back up with all of this cheese. Very good dono by Batches, being able to transition it into another T-spin setup while Duck Life sets up some pretty good back-to-back, but unfortunately breaks it. He needs to get another quad, but just the... Oh no, but the misspin from Duck Life, that might be very, 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 oh my god. I was almost unrecoverable for Duck Life. But Batches with their own misdrop as well, that might be even more recoverable for them.
But Botch has just that beautiful clean well. They're going to capitalize so well off of it.
And the back-to-back pressure to Duck Life, but Duck Life's not dead yet. Especially with a back-to-back of 13, which Batches has to break.
Both players just so good at canceling each other's sends. They've lived such insane back-to-back chains from each other. I think Duck had one of 17 that he had to break, and Bacha's now at 13. Just these beautiful down stacks and sequences. It's just so mesmerizing to watch.
Oh my god, Batches needed to get that extra T overhand to get it down, while Duck Life is looking pretty spicy with this setup. Gonna get the T-spin quad for his own. But Batches has a better down stack. He's gonna need to really send so much, but Duck Life has a pretty good opening, but doesn't really kill Batches in the meantime. But Batches needs to unfunnel this well, which he does twice. Keeps it clean with the TSS Dono as well. Very good STSD. Chooses to not go for the second T-spin, while Duck is just quickly going for that Kaiden, but chooses not to go for it with that 9-0. Very good cut copy by Duck as well. Batches is completely overstacking all of his damage, but he is getting it back down in an immediate process. But Duck Life is making the best of it with this clean stack, while Batches starting to struggle a bit with this with the setups that he so wants. And now, oh my god, Duck Life being so pressured, and he just couldn't handle it even longer. I didn't even realize this was 2 minutes and 30.
Yeah, it's just gravity margin time just does nothing to how fast they're playing. There's just not enough time for the piece to actually be affected.
Oh my god, Batches has the 9-0, but gets the double quad afterwards, but Duck Life cancels all of it. The extra T overhang for Batches, and he sent up a TSC tower.
And was able to pull it off, but Duck with the back-to-back 12. Botch's really going to need some kind of just insane survival. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Batches, that is so risky. He goes for a TST tower, but he keeps going for all these other setups as well, which is absolutely absurd for him, but that's just not enough for him to recover either way.
Duck Life looking for the 4th level of back-to-back there. Going so close to 24. Alright, MKO PC. Duck Life misdropping the O. Botch's just waiting.
Oh, that was some godlike timing from Batches.
Yeah, that is going to be the round. That was very unfortunate for Duck getting caught just way out of position there.
That's the one thing you don't want to do if you're against someone that wants the PC and wait, and that's just overstacking, and Duck Life just did that. That just feels so unfortunate.
Yeah, Botcha's very, very good. Very good at looking.
Very good by Batches. Going to be able to really take better usage of it and, of course, keep it clean. While Duck Life has a very skim-heavy board, the Korean stacking. Oh. Fortunately, doesn't get a
Batches,
PC
though,
there.
kind of now just in a bit of a skimming moment. Duck Life just, it looks like fishing for PCs.
Okay.
He will get the quad PC, but Batches will cancel, and now Batches has just an insanely clean well.
Batches countering the mid-game PC just a bit, being able to send just about half of what Duck Life sent, and now Duck Life just looking just a bit confused, and very good recovery by Batches. All these players are just sending down stack after down stack, and none of them are doing anything. And Batches is just keeping up the momentum. And he's SC stack. Okay. Okay, Batches.
A little bit of ST here.
We see it there. The original Blitz, the original Ultra strategy, the ST stacking from Batches, being able to keep up the pace, and the back-to-back to kill Duck Life as they're pretty close. This is the 16th round, and Batches is close to tying it up again.
Batches, this isn't TC score attack, please. It's TO. What are these T-spin setups?
Oh my god, and Duck Life's able to just take that round as soon as possible. That was such a stark contrast with what we had to the last round.
Yeah, they did the same thing Batches did earlier. Caught him out of position with TC there. Duck Life just kicks off this round with just upstacking.
But the DPC from Batches, that is so much damage to Duck Life. He's still going. Okay, not anymore, but still, that was some insane pressure by Batches. Now, Duck Life misdropping the T, unfortunately. Gonna have to fix the O dependency, but there's still being pressure by Batches' back-to-back, especially with the Kaiden. And he's overstacking.
That was a very risky dono there. Needed to burn all of those pieces to get the T. Duck Life could have punished there, but they sent so much pressure earlier that Duck Life was just focused on getting down.
It's very much a pretty neutral situation for both of these players, and Duck Life is really having a hard time trying to fight for their life, while Batches is being able to get all these options for free without any kind of punish. But Duck Life can easily take it.
So many fins. Batches just has so many fins, and it's just so weird how they're working, and then setting up the C-spin there, but they slid in an L instead of a T. I believe that was intentional, as there was none upcoming, and they didn't want to be so high up with.
Oh, but look at that power stacking from Duck, but Batches manages to tank all of that in just mere seconds.
Alright, Duck's back-to-back chain. Up to Batches to survive, bringing it up to 13, but they haven't gotten into their well yet. Getting very close there.
Batches is having the time of his life with all of these skims and whatnot, while Duck Life has a back-to-back chain of 22! Oh my god!
Alright, that's the new record. The record's 22 now. Beating their old PB by 1 this set. Batches just not able to send enough to force Duck to cancel, and that is not
the
going to be a
counter
good
spike from Duck Life, I think this might be it for Batches' winner's run, unless he can be able to do a miracle and turn this around. But all this pressure from Duck Life and the back-to-back pressure from them, I think that might be it. But Duck Life is sacrificing efficiency for back-to-back. I don't think that was a very wise play, but they managed to fix it up pretty immediately. And Batches going for that TST, gonna fix it up immediately.
And that was definitely a misdrop on Duck's side, unfortunately. And alongside that one, these aren't doing him any favors. Batches very clean well right now, but really kind of risky T-spins without T's and Q.
It's like if Duck Life is fast enough, he can be able to capitalize on these kinds of bag mistakes. Which basically, like, if you don't have a T in your bag in the current queue, the amount that's being shown, you could just easily punish. But, oh, Duck Life with the survival gets very lucky with the double I and the T, but Batches sends him pretty high enough. This is looking risky for Duck Life, but he manages to get down pretty good. And Batches purely in trouble with the amount of holes that he made to his board, but very good down stack by them. Oh god, this could mean anyone's game.
Both Botchesses and Ducks down stacks, as you've been pointing out. They cancel each other so well, and it's ridiculous because you see all this pressure, and then it's like huge numbers like 24, 30, and you look on both.
Don't
the
do a
boards
King Crimson! Patches!
No,
That's what you get. That's what you get. That's what you so get. That is what you get, Patches, for doing a King Crimson to Duck Life. Oh my god, this
To be
round.
honest, that's not even the craziest thing they've done this set.
Oh,
Let's be honest here.
That is so unfortunate for Batches. He had the King Crimson set up, but he flopped it. He flopped it. Oh no, Batches. Unfortunately, his winner's side round coming to an end as Duck Life secures the grand final spot of Stratosphere 57.
I guarantee you Botches is looking to bring that back. They're going to watch this set, and they're going to try to beat whoever comes out of this to get another chance at Duck. Such a beautiful set from both players, and neither one wanted to give up to the other, but unfortunately Botches's survival just kept running out as Duck's back-to-back just kept building.
Oh my god. That was such an esoteric match, but it was such a fun one to cast, man. Wow, all of these plays from both these players have been fairly strong, and especially of how versatile both these players are. I can see why it was close. But
definitely super close.
But of course,
anyway, moving on though.
We are going to continue on.
Botches versus the losers winner. We actually have to get the losers winner. UI Galaxy versus Kepsi. The best offense versus the best defense. And also the best misdrops, but we're not going to worry about that.
Yeah, let's not worry about that, because look at the speed at which UI Galaxy is going. My oh my, but Kepsi is just keeping all these spike numbers up, and UI Galaxy being so overwhelmed by all of this garbage. It only took 16 seconds to make the speed demon fall.
Yeah, you can't really use measurement of time in this, because, yeah, it only took 17 seconds, but it actually took like 60 lines of garbage.
It's all about that overwhelming pressure in which Kepsi can really capitalize on, especially with her, her downstacking abilities, which have been pretty strong in this tournament so far.
Oh, she's definitely going to look to punish UI's misdrops. It is going to be just... If you're UI, you definitely want to slow down at this point because you don't want to misdrop like normal, because Pepsi is always just going to be waiting for the chance to punish you.
And UI Galaxy is building a pretty power stack heavy board, while Kepsi is just taking all this plonk into her to Granite, and UI Galaxy can't do much about this setup because he just funneled it for a T-spin. Which doesn't seem ideal if you're UI Galaxy.
Yeah, you don't want to greed against Kepsi. There's a lot of things you don't want to do against Kepsi. Number one is exist. I mean, what?
Huh? Oh,
Alright, UI Galaxy, very quick.
Kepsi? Seems like Kepsi was trying to go for the TST, but chooses to stick out the L? I don't think that was...
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate there for Kepsi, but now UI's board is so messed up, and Kepsi is just... wasn't able to capitalize.
Because look at the speed!
Yeah.
Oh, but Kepsi with the downstack does find it pretty optimal, as UI just gets so caught off guard, but the ice spin is not enough to save it.
Yeah, you can see Kepsi right there. Just beautiful downstack after beautiful downstack. UI Galaxy is definitely going to need to be ready to receive lots of... If focused maybe a little, they would be able to just discern the clean from the cheese, and oh... Man, if UI Galaxy
that looks juicy for UI, but Kepsi has all of this garbage to work with, but not the bag that she wants, and UI Galaxy takes it.
Yeah, we can see both players' win conditions. very quick. UI Galaxy is just going to need to overwhelm Kepsi, and Kepsi is just going to need to spike UI Galaxy. Kepsi, though, going to need to survive this 5 PPS opener, and she does very quick.
Especially with the dono afterwards, Kepsi is being able to take that sort of survivability to the best she could, while UI Galaxy is thrown so off guard, and the T is not going to be put into the T-spin, which doesn't matter anyways, because that's going to be a T-spin 0 and another point for Kepsi. Uh-oh. Already. Oh, that's already a round secured for Kepsi once again, because look at all these misdrops.
All right, the alternating rounds has been broken here. 2-4 instead of 3-3. However, it is an SDPC bag, so Kepsi better be absolutely ready to survive 5 PPS. Never mind.
Yeah. It's like driving a Ferrari. It's like you drive so fast you tend to forget about the speed limit, and then once you run into a tree, then it's like, yeah, it hurts hard for yourself. That's the definition of a Strider. It's like driving a Ferrari.
It's all fun and games until you run into a tree, apparently. The tree being hitting yourself with your own eyepiece so bad that it kills you.
Absolutely, and that's what UI Galaxy's been doing, and it's not looking pretty good for them, and they're... What are they, like, 6 seed?
Oh, 6 PPS, man. Slow down.
It's all about the patience, and UI Galaxy's just running off of caffeine, but that kind of fatigue is just really putting a big number in this efficiency, and Kepsi is playing it fairly carefully. But UI Galaxy doesn't care about being careful. He's just care about sending. Stack. Oh, whoops, I misdropped my JPs. I'm gonna have to fix this. Uh-oh, I'm being sent so much. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's 95.
That's an accurate depiction of UI Galaxy's playstyle, which doesn't seem to be helping all that much. But Kepsi, with her own misdrops too.
Yeah, that's gonna be in the round. Do I need to explain further? If you misdrop against UI Galaxy's opener, just, you know what, just top out. You still won't even be faster even if you top out at that point, but...
Sorry, you're just telling them to speedrun Stratosphere if you misdrop against UI Galaxy? Uh-oh, but UI Galaxy making all these mistakes, and look at how fast he's going. He's just playing like he's on ice skates. But Kepsi is just having a good time, you know? Just stacking carefully, looking for cheese, and if she does, she can just dig through it. And UI Galaxy is just being so frantic. It's just not helping his nerves, as I think UI Galaxy might take a 4th place spot if he lets Kepsi have this lead, which definitely seems like she'll take it. Oh, but the TKI misdrop from Kepsi, but does manage to fix it a bit. Oh, but the macro. You don't know when the macro is going to hit, but UI Galaxy with a bit of misdropping. Oh boy. Oh,
it's such a clean fix from UI. It's such a clean fix, but it's not going to be enough to kill Kepsi, and you already know that at some point that garbage is coming right back.
And Kepsi is able to take this 9-0 to her advantage compared to UI Galaxy's Dono strats, but I don't think that second one was necessary, but UI chooses to go for it anyways because he could just 5 PPS it no matter what. And look at that damage from UI Galaxy, sending so much to Kepsi, but if you're playing against Kepsi, you know she'll find a way to dig through all of this, and it looks like she's doing the best she could. And UI Galaxy, what is that board? That almost looks like an Imperial crossboard. But does manage to fix up anyways. Very good dono by UI Galaxy. Kepsi playing in neutral. Both these players not doing too much damage to themselves. Very good find by Kepsi. Gonna take a bit of time for it. Were they looking for a TS? Yep, they're looking for a TSS. Does manage to find it. But they need to count 4 for that. Oh, but that double quad is so beautiful by Kepsi, but UI takes it all the way back. And all these misdrops from UI as well. This might be pretty bad for them. And yep, Kepsi finds it and takes it.
Yeah, Kepsi is just playing at their comfortable speed, and I believe UI is just They're trying so hard to break through the defensive wall that is Kepsi.
Ooh, very coincidental improv timing for UI Galaxy being able to find it and take it, but that Z misdrop, not so helpful, but still manages to fix it either way. Kepsi trying to put the T piece in there, gonna need to get that TSS for what she wants, and barely makes it out alive. Greeting for that TSD. Not exactly counting the 4 there, as she cares about her survivability more than anything, as UI Galaxy continues to add on so much pressure, but not really doing much to kill Kepsi, like you said before. But yeah, both these players still in neutral, while UI Galaxy's in a very, very finicky spot right now. Ooh, I don't know about that downstack. I don't know about that. Ooh, and that Elmas drop, I think that might be it.
Yeah, you could see it right there. As soon as UI misdropped that L, he knew it was most likely over because it was spinning the T. I think they were trying to find a solution, but there was just none there. And again, they're trying to do that opener so fast to beat out Kepsi's TKI, but it's always costing them this early game advantage as they misdrop it so many times.
Very good opening by Kepsi, being able to get to that quad well, just what she wants. While UI Galaxy is looking to fix these mistakes into setups, but the misdrops from Kepsi, that's very unfortunate. You're gonna have to really skim through all of it in order to make it into something remotely helpful, but definitely looks like Kepsi does manage to find it. And also a pretty good downstack by them, not sending enough damage, while UI Galaxy is setting up some pretty good back-to-back chaining. Ooh, and the speed in which he does send is going to be a lot, but Kepsi just lives it. Kepsi really needs a big back-to-back chain in order to secure this. Round, but Kepsi is just counteracting all of that with clever canceling.
Oh, now it's Kepsi's turn to begin back-to-back chaining. Now UI is gonna have to be a bit on the defense here. I know they just hate playing defense because they love. You can see when they get into that kind of position, they love to just fly through the offense. But every Kepsi just so good at the counter that UI has to play defense so often, as there's just always so much cheese and return garbage. You never even know, like, can I build this? Am I gonna get hit by some 27 spike by Kepsi? Who knows?
It looks like Kepsi is in a pretty safe spot right now, like she normally is, and UI Galaxy with that 9-0 board, that could be a lot of damage that he could just send, but Kepsi made his own mistake with her own mistake with the J, but pretty good fix by that. And the multiplier spike as well.
Alright, Kepsi's back-to-back chain. UI Galaxy getting close to the top of the board, doing a lot of skimming, but not very good, as it's not really opening up the garbage well too much. But now UI's in a position of offense. All they need to do here is just build the back-to-back chain. But the T, they couldn't get it out. They couldn't get it out of there. Oh, it was such a nice little comfort. It's like a little cast for the T piece there, and ooh, fell right into it. Trap, and you were caught.
And knowing the lock delay of this game too, it's pretty tight. And Kepsi made one mistake that could be capitalized, and the eyepiece too. You can't fix that. It's just a wall that just cannot be broken down.
Yeah, I don't believe that eye exactly was a misdrop. I believe Kepsi was just like, there's probably no way I make it out of this in time. Because again, UI, the pressures, it's inconsistent, but it is always there. It's always there.
Yeah, but the 22 spike from Kepsi, and that's going to be it. Kepsi takes 4th place. I mean,
no,
UI Galaxy.
That's so fast, you're confusing the players.
I don't know who to believe in anymore. But
right, that
yeah,
would be on the side for real.
But UI Galaxy taking a 4th place spot at Stratosphere 7. Now Kepsi being able to fight against Datchus in another close set. Oh boy.
All right. Now we've got the defensive wizard Pepsi versus the very versatile Botches. I believe that Botches is going to do a lot more offense, but they are definitely not going to be afraid of building into their defense if Pepsi has a high back to back chain or a really big spike. I do believe that it will be a very interesting game, as we know Botches does these like wild setups, and since they're not facing Duck in this case, they won't have to worry about like being slammed by a ton of offense.
And of course, Batches being known for having a lot of freedom in matchups like this, especially someone like Kepsi. Batches can be able to have a lot of freedom compared to the last match, which in fact was pretty close for them, but they can be able to secure this if they ever so choose to. But if Kepsi makes this slight upset, they're gonna have to fight against Duck in grand finals. But we'll see where this goes. Oh goodness, this can go either or. Batches wanting to get a second chance against Duck, but Kepsi making quite a losers bracket run. Might be able to take grand finals if they so shut down Batches. This is a fight for third place and a fight for grand finals. So we'll see if Batches ever shows up. I'll go check. I might actually message him real quick on Tetria. Okay, there we go. He's in. Alright, so we shall get started with Kepsi versus Batches.
All right, we will see a warm up between the two players. This is where this is gonna determine basically like the play styles of the whole game.
Oh god, he's waiting. Oh no, not this setup. Batches? Batches! Wake up!
Can you send?
Batches! What is this? Was this avant-garde strat? And Kepsi is just... Oh, Kepsi's just playing along with it. That's good. But she just downstacks it anyways because she's Kepsi.
But then Botches returns with his own downstack, and
it's like they were like prepared for this. It's like they rehearsed for this kind of setup, but now they're already into mid game, so it kind of doesn't matter anyways. Oh, that's a good floating setup by Batches. Oh, and that's also a good height difference too. Batches could do.
Botches waiting to accept more clean, but
and he's on a TSD tower against Kepsi. But Kepsi lives!
Oh, that was a very extremely risky dono from Botches there. Dono. Oh, so close to losing, but no cigar.
Yeah, and Kepsi is going to send it all the way back, and Batches needs to really send a lot in this warm-up round. Especially with the gimmicks that they were trying to pull off earlier. They're now really committing to this matchup. And Kepsi with the funnel!
Beautiful. Botch's sequencing is just so, like, choreographical, and it's so, like, insane to watch. You can see they have a back-to-back 13 chain, and Kepsi's just living like it's nothing.
Oh my god, Batches thought he had the overhang! But he still manages to live, but let's see if he can just recover from all of this cheese that Kepsi's so sent because of her downstacking. Oh no. Okay, thank God. I thought he was gonna. Oh, that misdrop. Oh. What an anticlimactic finish of this warm-up round, and we are gonna get started. Oh god, we're gonna have 11 matches of this. Oh no, more than 11 matches. This is going.
11 matches at least, baby.
Oh, Oh.
Well, I highly doubt they're gonna do like the same opener.
Oh no. This is either gonna be the most trollish match of losers finals I'm ever gonna see.
Yeah.
Batches, this is losers finals. Why are you trolling? What is this setup? Oh my god, but gets the Kaiden and the 9-0 stack too. And the prophecy. Oh my god. How do you think like this when you're Batches? But Kepsi is being able to keep up that defense pretty strong. And the switchback too. Oh boy, this is going to be a lot to take in. Very good 17 spike by Batches. That's a lot of clean for Kepsi to take care of. Just as good as she can handle cheese, she can handle just as much clean to send to Batches.
To be honest, the 12 spike isn't enough against Kepsi. You're gonna need to send something bigger, like 274 lines of garbage. You might win there, maybe.
Oh! The intense pressure from Kepsi is enough to secure the first round, and Batches having a bit of fun over there. But I think it's time to take the focus onto the fun side of things.
Yeah, you wish.
Oh my god. It's a garbage sending opener. That's just what it is. It's not even like an empty field opener. That's the thing about Batches' opener. It just doesn't make sense. But Kepsi with the solid clean pressure to Batches, but it's not enough to really kill him. And the oh my god, the J overhang for the TSC. That was a clever find by Batches. But Kepsi's playing a lot more cleaner than Batches, who's just clearly trying to look for style.
Yeah.
Oh, but does fix the overhang too. Gonna find another fractal. The misdrop on the J gonna need to be fixed as soon as possible. As Kepsi is starting to speed up a bit, trying to kill Batches, but the prophecy for Batches at 27, 29! Oh god! Mark my words, Night Hunter. I just saw the easiest recovery that Batches ever pulled off, and he's doing SPC. He's doing SPC oh. Batches, I think you might want to use your opener this time. Not SDPC, thank you. But Kepsi clearly has a 1-point lead. There we go. That's what we love to see in Stratosphere. We love to see gimmicks and bullcrap from our favorite opener boy Batches. But it definitely looks like he's starting to pick some subs up from a very hole heavy board, while Kepsi is just playing it fairly clean. The J need to be fixed though. This is looking not so bad for Batches. Did you just do a Z-spin in Losers Finals of Stratosphere 57? Batches? What is that setup? I even questioned some of these decisions because he's just getting away with it, and Kepsi is just starting to question, who am I playing against? And he's doing mech. Batches mech stacking over here. And of course having to break back to back a bit, but still manages to get the height difference down. This is looking pretty strong for him. While Kepsi is looking pretty tight with that back-to-back chain of 10. And that's enough to kill Batches in a 2-point ahead lead. Batches really needs to keep the focus into himself and how he plays against players like Kepsi, needing to adapt instead of just relying on really goofy stuff. Oh, a bit of pass route for Batches. He gets sent one line of garbage. Same with Kepsi. Both of these players playing pretty much the same way. Oh, well, I mean, if you talk about playstyles, not really, but it looks like Batches is looking to fix all of that. Very good TSC don't do a fin. I was going to say that is not a fin setup.
Nah, turn it into a Fed setup or else you're weak. Oh no, they're building the floating TST. No.
What are you doing? You're just making it yourself. What's the point? Batches. What are you doing? Whoa!
Yo, the column dies.
Because he was in a combo. Uh-oh. Oh, that dash is not so fortunate for Batches. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
It's a fin.
Yeah,
Ooh, misdropping the S there.
Yeah.
Not live.
They had the slight recovery there, it's just they didn't get so lucky.
Botcha's probably gonna have to start getting his head into the game now because Kepsi is just. It's like, yeah, go ahead.
That looked like a semi-Mogus opener, dude. But based off of Kepsi's match, what are you?
That was just an unfortunate sequence of misdrops there. Very impressive picks.
I would say that Batches did that on purpose, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
I wouldn't think so only because of the pause right after.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't see. I was focused on Kepsi.
Yeah, Kepsi, her gameplay is just so clean right now.
Oh my god, the forecasting dono from Batches, but the slight misdrop gonna have to be a change of plans. Oh. Kepsi being able to downside just a bit of it. Just a bit of cheese. This is something that Batches doesn't want, but if that's fuel for Batches, then I don't know what else is.
Kepsi, beautiful 8 combo quad there, and they're going to take the 6th round very quickly. Batches is
not
falling
too hot.
behind, actually.
Yeah, not looking too hot for Batches. Kepsi has a pretty big lead ahead of him. He really needs to play for focus instead of just relying on these alongside these wildcard decisions that he just so loves to pull out, but definitely looks like it's working out well for him because look at how high Kepsi is going.
Yeah, Kepsi, I believe, was a little unprepared for the LST just due to, like, Batches' earlier rounds. Dickspin, though. Kepsi, Mitch dropping the T. Ooh, against Dickspin, that's rough.
Yeah, and Batches had a 2-line PC, but because of the 2 lines of garbage, it clearly wasn't possible. But that would have been cool if it were to happen.
Dominoes and Tetris win.
Batches is playing pretty much freestyle at this point, especially with this TST setup, which he so luckily finds while Kepsi is starting to slow down a lot more. Ooh, but very good down stack by Kepsi, being able to send a lot. But Batches with the Batches with the eye misdrop, but still manages to get another one, all thanks to his speed.
Very good. Her misdrop fixes are just so good. You'd think that some of them were on purpose, but I highly doubt it because it is way better to just play clean than it is to just pretend to misdrop. Because if you do pretend to misdrop, but then you get caught out by the supposed bad piece placement, you will probably still have to pay for it.
Yeah. It really sucks if you're on the very bad receiving end of getting pretty much an unfortunate misdrop if you're Batches. But in that case, if you're Batches, you can really find all these solutions if you ever so. Yeah, that misspin almost costing Batches the game, but he's still pretty high, so it's most likely that. Yeah.
Kepsi, soon as she saw, she just immediately went in for the kill. Sped up a little bit there. And now Batches was able to get a 2 games won, but that will...
For a second, I thought Batches was going to set up a TST based on that shape alone. I was going to flip. But Kepsi, Kepsi with the floating T-spin to end it.
Batches really wanted to go for the Imp Cross there, but then I think over-rotated the piece. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
Very good freestyle by Promo. With the Kaiden to start, he really has a lot of room to send so much. I don't think that S misdrop was intentional. I think that might be very costly for Batches. Yeah, that's one too many mistakes into one.
Right, Promo taking the 11th round, making a surprise guest appearance in Stratosphere.
Oh, did you accidentally? Oh my god. Okay, very good, reliable TSD from Batches, being able to. Oh boy.
Why would you spin the eye into there? That doesn't even.
There's no all spin Batches. And Kepsi is making a lot of holes for herself, but she can still fix them because, like I said, she's Kepsi. She's the cheese race queen over here, and
SRSI.
I had the commentator's curse that. Awesome.
More like bad rotation system. All of everyone hates SRSI, babe.
Yeah. And Kepsi is looking to play it pretty clean, waiting for that clean garbage well that she can sense so much of. And okay, Batches, that Finn, I swear to God. But he's still managing to make the most of it with that eye dependency to create that. Oh, very good usage of it. He doesn't go for the TST, but chooses to go for the TSD. That could have been an extra bit of damage to Kepsi, but Kepsi has so much cheese, but not exactly the down stack to send a lot. Plus, she does manage to find the height difference, though.
Right.
Mm.
Oh, Botchus unready for Kepsi's little miniature burst there, and Kepsi 2 away from taking it. Oh, Botchus, very beautiful.
Very good counter spike by Batches, and the misdrop from Kepsi is give him a point. Can we get 69?
Right. 5-9. Kepsi looking to punish Botchus' misdrops right there. However, Botchus is just speed. I mean, they're both playing at equal speed, but Botchus definitely has just a speed advantage overall. But it's super clean well there.
Oh, very good switchback by Batches. Being able to make some good usage out of that while Kepsi has so much clean on top of her board. And Batches is just creating all of these board setups in the down stack afterwards. He's just taking notes from her.
For sure, but now Kepsi's got a lot of cheese.
Yeah, and a lot of cheese means a lot of damage, but Batches just completely cancels it. But the O misdrop might be... Oh my god, that might be pretty bad, because the I, too, it's sticking out like a sore thumb. Yes. Batches really needs to live through all of this in order to secure him back to ground, and that double quad might be able to do just that.
And, so close to taking the round. Kepsi, very beautiful, tanking, got that clean.
Ooh, and the counter spike, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Kepsi's counter spiking potential, it's just so great. And Botchus, so close to being caught out, but now Kepsi at the top. But that's Kepsi's favorite spot.
Batches? What's that fractal? What are you cooking with that fractal? Okay, we're good. That's going to send just a bit of damage to Kepsi. Kepsi with the TSS Dono, but Batches just sends so much more in comparison. Uh-oh. That's a mid-game BT into a... I thought this was going to be mid-game BT into a TST tower. I was going to...
Oh.
Nice.
6-9.
Nice. 69 in losers finals, and it's Batches versus Kepsi. This is a real tournament. Oh, I love that forecast opener from Batches from that can transition into LSD too. This is pretty strong for Batches, while Kepsi is playing pretty low.
Yeah, the TKI extension. It's always a really good thing to do. Like, if you see people just tanking your first T-spin setup, you can always build the little extension so that they can tank even more clean and counterspike you even harder.
Oh, and the down stack from Batches. That's a lot of pressure to Kepsi, but she has the speed to really dig it all the way back down. And Batches really needs to keep up the pressure in order to secure the second round. Of the 69 round, in fact.
The legendary round. Who will take it?
Definitely looks like... Oh, definitely looks like Kepsi is close to taking it, though, but Batches isn't really too threatened by all of this unless he makes... that! Oh my god, that was almost pretty bad.
That was actually a really beautiful skim because that board state was just awful.
Yeah, that was almost awful. But I'm pretty sure that doesn't matter regardless. Yeah, no, that's it.
No.
No!
Oh, no. The S misdrop.
Oh, Bat just had the down stack, but the one movement that he just so wants to have just isn't in his favor and finds the 180 solved. And he's going for DPC. He just doesn't care about losing.
One privilege. Enjoy.
And
Yeah.
Kepsi is just looking to play slow and careful with all of this, while Batches is just power second for all of this in the down stack for 14 to send a bit to Kepsi. But Kepsi can just always send it back if she wants to, or if she has the opportunity to. Oh,
But just building a very big power while Kepsi's got to do something now.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit of damage, and that's gonna send it 7 to 10 for Batches. Kepsi still has one more match. She still has one more match to secure a grand final spot against Duck Life. But Batches doesn't want her to have it. This could be a slight upset potential for Kepsi, but Batches just clearly wants to take that spot for granted. And Kepsi with a beautiful 6-3, transitioning into a 10 spike. Batches with the SDSD, finding the pieces for and the down stack to boot. A 29 spike to Kepsi being able to secure the 8th.
Kepsi has 2 more rounds of legroom before it'll be a tiebreaker. Kepsi needs to take a quick round right now. That is her best chance.
Oh my god, Batches not getting too lucky with this grace system setup. And Kepsi with all these misdrops, this is pretty nerve-wracking for her, as she's just on the chance of securing a grand final spot or just going 3rd place. But knowing Batches' spot right now, definitely seems like Batches might be most likely, but he's making all these recoveries and the TSD to switch back instead, but chooses to favor the recovery. Oh my god. Oh, but the misdrops, that's going to be it. That's going to be it. Batches takes 3rd place in Stratosphere 57 and he rage quits. Oh my god.
Right.
Kepsi taking the slight upset against Batches in Stratosphere 57, and she shall move on to fight against Duck Life in grand finals on loser side. Oh no. That was unfortunate for Batches. Oh no.
All right. Now we're moving on into the final round with our best offensive player, Duck Life, versus our best defensive player, Kepsi. Kepsi needs to take 2 first to 11s in order to win the whole thing. So it's going to be a real uphill battle for her.
Wait, hold up. I just realized something, Night Hunter. Batches sent Kepsi into loser's bracket. But Kepsi sent Batches out of the tournament. That is an insane rematch comeback from her. And to secure the grand final spot, that was such an immaculate loser's run by her. And now she gets to fight one of the best players in top 20.
So now she has to fight the person who sent Batches into loser's bracket.
Oh,
so she
boy.
Fight her defeater's defeater. Oh boy.
This is... And despite Kepsi being a very strong veteran player in this game, and especially in this scene, against someone like Duck Life, this is going to take a lot of merit for someone like Kepsi to reset the bracket and take the set and take the series. So this could go either or.
Come on. Hitrio instantly blowing up my router as soon as I get off of it for half a second.
Oh, damn. Don't mind me, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. Once warm-up ends, I can get to casting. Oh, never mind, we are getting started.
Alright, go quick then. Go quick then.
God, okay.
Accidentally set up for a warm-up round, but... Ooh, super close game, guys. It's half a second long, and both players exploded, so we'll just consider it a draw. Thanks for coming out. I'm just kidding. Anyway, on to the real set. Kepsi versus Duck Life. Seed 1 versus Seed 3. Yeah, I remember that. I didn't have to check anything.
Whew, okay, we're already getting started. Kepsi setting up with some very, very clean mid game for the time being, and of course with a bit of cheese sent by Duck Life. Of course, one with the intense back-to-back pressures, one that that cannot get started right away as Duck Life cleans up his board immediately. Same with Kepsi, unfortunately, have to do with that delayed TSD.
Yeah, Duck Life is having a little bit of a hard time getting something started. They probably should have warmed up, but the warm-up was so fine.
Yeah,
And
but
they will. I think they're into their rhythm now. And as soon as they just set it up, they instantly took round one.
Kepsi over here setting up for MKO, and of course extra T overhang MKO, but not exactly, again, the Kaiden continuation. As Duck Life looking to fix that jaggedy looking board with another T-spin setup too. This is a pretty good continuation for Duck Life, and then, of course, going down, but Kepsi with the misdrops is going to be very difficult for her to really come back from this, especially against the first-seeded Duck Life.
Yeah, super unfortunate. Had a fractal there, but it couldn't clean up because of that unfortunate S there.
Very good setup by Kepsi, being able to set up that overhang just how she wanted it to be, while Duck Life has a pretty good down stack to set up for, but doesn't get too much damage. But Kepsi's making all these misdrops. This is the nerves in grand finals that we're talking about.
Yeah, super unfortunate. The S pieces are just not working out, and then Duck again. You can't let him get this back to back going.
It's just going to be very difficult for Kepsi to keep this momentum up, especially if she made an insane losers bracket run that we've saw in this tournament. But Duck Life is just making sure to end this as soon as possible, just speedrunning for all of this. Oh my god, but Kepsi doesn't get the quad! The horizontal eye just misdropping, not in her favor. Duck Life taking a very strong lead in grand finals. This is not good. Very good continuation by Kepsi. Chooses to go for the S. Oh my god, chooses the TSS instead of the TST by accident. I don't think that was intentional by Kepsi. That could have been so much damage while Duck Life is setting a pretty strong LST. And look at the back-to-back. And the dependencies too. This is so much pressure for Kepsi to take. She may be the Cheese Race King, but can she handle Duck Life?
Yes, apparently so.
That was some pretty strong plays by Kepsi. The defense is really much on point, finding all these holes and making good usage of them. What?
Duck Life unable to dethrone the queen right now. Ooh.
Very good prophecy by Kepsi. Look at all these setups, and of course a bit of OP's funneling to get to that quad was not so hard to really find if you're Kepsi, while Duck Life funneling just a bit and having this garbage well very open for him can lead to a pretty big spike, and especially with that power stack that he's so known for, especially with LST, that's going to be so much damage for Duck Life, and Kepsi just couldn't handle it. That's a 5th point for Duck Life.
Kepsi's so close to getting that down stack she was looking for, but Duck Life just sent the presser just a little bit too fast. Now MKO versus MS2, PC, but that's a lot of cleat for Kepsi, but will she be able to get into it in time? Yeah.
Oh, I like that Chef Tooth opening by Duck Life, being able to set up the overhang. This is so much garbage for Kepsi, but she eats it up anyways. And the T-spin setup too. Wanting to count to 4, does find the count to 4, breaking back-to-back a bit. While Duck Life has so much damage. Look at the back-to-back chain. Oh my god, Duck Life.
That 12 back-to-back T-spin quad is just wild. Very basic 22 spike, actually. Alright, Duck Life. Ooh, quick back-to-back break, actually. Kepsi, unfortunately, also having to break hers.
Definitely looks like we might not be able to see a sweep point for Duck Life as Kepsi tanks it all. Oh my god, that would have been humiliating if Duck Life took a sweep.
Yeah, not particularly, but also at the same time, it is a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, but... Oh, Kepsi not getting the PC! The one line of garbage is just... That's so annoying to deal with, though, but Kepsi does manage to make proper usage of that STMBK, while Duck Life is just setting so much damage with that back-to-back chain, and Kepsi's just overstacking her board! against Duck Life of all people.
Too much hesitation there. She couldn't decide if she wanted to go for another T-spin setup on top of that. Likely should have just played it safe there. Will have the. I mean, won't have the PC. I'm very hard. I'm very bad at seeing PCs.
Yeah, me too. But even then, I wouldn't have seen that. And Duck Life is still taking so many points off of Kepsi. We might have a tournament winner in about 3 more matches if Duck Life manages to keep it going. And Kepsi's nerves really starting to get the worst of her, especially with all these decisions that she so desperately has to take. And depending on the situation, it definitely looks like Kepsi is trying her best to kill, despite being a very defensive player. And Duck Life is just sending so much damage.
Either way, though, this is still a really impressive run from Kepsi, getting that upset in losers finals. Either way, still taking the silver medal, and will likely get
oh, Kepsi!
That was a very beautiful down stack. That was amazing.
Kepsi with the down stack and Duck Life's unfortunate indecisional play gave Kepsi the second point, definitely getting back on her groove, and Duck Life is just overstacking. Counting to 4, and he's just playing fast. He's sending so much pressure to Kepsi. The S miss drop from Kepsi. Duck Life has 2 more points.
The S's for Kepsi. Still though, Duck Life with that extreme greed paying off. It's so ridiculous what he gets away with.
It's just the pressure that he just so loves to put on, especially against players like Kepsi, who are known for carrying such a thing like that. But if you're Kepsi, what would you do against Duck Life if you're just wanting to play so defensively and just counteracting all that, which is clever downstacking? But Duck Life, oh my god, Duck Life didn't have the pieces to recover, and now he has, I'd say, about like a square number of just. I don't know what to believe in. I don't know what to believe in anymore. Kepsi just making such a wild run and just unfortunately coming to a 3-9 like disadvantage. Does find the quad, thankfully, but now she needs to clean up everything else while Duck Life is playing at 4 PPS. That's double her speed.
Still the Kepsi, she's still canceling just everything Duck is sending at the moment. Both players having back-to-back chains, but Kepsi's getting
my god, this
greedy for this, but she lives anyway.
She barely makes it out alive, but she's still being pressured by Duck Life. Does manage to find the Z piece to spin in, but all she needs is an I piece to get to that quad well, and she's just not getting the piece that she wants. This is tournament point for Duck Life.
Ooh, that was really rough. Even if she got to the I piece in time, I don't believe she would have had enough to cancel like all 25 from Duck's little quad finisher.
Oh my god, Kepsi with the fractal. Gonna have to go with the mid-game fractal while Duck Life skimming a bit and breaking back-to-back. This is the one fear he doesn't want, and that's just breaking the damage that he so wants to use to his advantage. But he's just using that so cleverly, and oh, Kepsi falling and taking second place as Duck Life is your Stratosphere 57 champion.
Right.
Oh,
That was a very fun tournament, actually.
it
We saw
was.
some matches like Botchess versus Duck Life, Kepsi versus Botchess, UI Galaxy.
We have seen all kinds of play styles tonight, and I am so happy that I get to cast all of them. Oh my god, what a tournament run for Kepsi. Falling to Batches, but thankfully turning it all around at the end. Unfortunately, losing to Duck Life 3-11, but still, what a run by her. That was probably the most insane run I've seen of Stratosphere so far that I've casted.
Oh, for sure. Kepsi just bringing the revenge back, and then moving on into grand finals. We'll be able to take a silver medal home in Stratosphere, which I believe is their first time doing that. I could be wrong though. I barely remember. like who wins, but still, Pepsi very, very good there.
And of course, Duck Life being able to take another first place win home in the Hummingbird's Nest Discord. What a set. What a run. And as always, as we also do in Hummingbird's Nest, we shall be rating a streamer. And I feel like we've had this plan, and I feel like we are going to raid Ren?
Red.
Right. So, thank you all for coming to Stratosphere tonight. I really appreciate casting all these games with Hugh, Night Hunter, and I am so thankful to be part of this tournament. I did not expect to be part of it in the first place, but hey, I got nothing else better to do. But
Don't worry, we pulled him in. That's what happened.
but special thanks to everyone who has shown up today. GG's to everyone who has played, even the lower seeded ones. What a run from Kepsi. Shoutouts to Duck Life for the 2-time Stratosphere win. And special thanks to Hummingbird's Nest for hosting all of this, and of course the people involved there. And as always, I'm TGK. I have 900 with me, and of course we'll see you, hopefully, next week.
Friday. For Radiant, come join. Real.
Raid Red.
Shoutouts to Ren.
Real. Bye.
Okay.
See ya.
Bitch.